Yes! You know what's better than Fantasy Football Wednesday? Fantasy Football Thursday! Yes! Oh man, we got a good game tonight. This is a game I'm really looking forward to. Really excited about this. Sean Payton coached for a long time in New Orleans. His leaving the Saints was a little weird. There was still several years on his contract. A lot of people thought that, hey, I lose my Hall of Fame quarterback. I've always said this. I always felt that Drew Brees was possibly the most underrated quarterback of all time. I've always been blown away by how most people don't consider Drew Brees or even put him in the conversation of the greatest quarterback who ever lived. Most accurate quarterback of all time, most 5,000-yard seasons. Um, but you basically, hey, Sean Payton retires uh, almost right after Drew Brees' retirement. And so he retired, did TV for a year, and then Denver gave him like $8 trillion a year. The new ownership group of the Denver Broncos just gave him a lot of money. Um, this is first time coming back. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a really good game. Fluffy Sheet. Fluffy Sheet. Oh man, that's a cool name. I love it. Yo, good afternoon. What's up, brother? Armando, what's up, brother? I'm very excited about Thursday Night Football. Very excited about Thursday Night Football. Somebody hit me up right before the show. By the way, I don't answer like fettuccine, fluffuccine. Okay, all right. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't recognize names. So one thing is that I always advise people call your girlfriend baby because there's nothing worse than calling her the wrong name. So I'm bad with names. That's all it is. I'm a good guy, at least try to be, but I'm bad with names. Listen, this is going to be a good game, but somebody hit me up. If I can't get your question today, you can email me, dantalksfootball at Yahoo. If you want to go old school, you can always DM me on either Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to do. You can drop a comment in this video. But somebody hit me up. It's like, hey, Dan, I have the Denver defense. I think he said Steelers was available. Should I drop Denver? And I said, listen, how often do you go against a backup rookie quarterback with his up 100%? That's the whole point. That's the whole point, man. Fire away. All questions are answered. Anything goes. How often do you go against a backup rookie quarterback with their top two receivers out on a short week? If you have the Denver defense, you really want to play them. This is a perfect opportunity. I do think the Saints defense will make some plays. They've been having some issues with pass rush. I get that. I wouldn't be surprised to see a pick or two, and I really think that there's a good opportunity for a sack, even though they've been having problems. When you go against a rookie quarterback, I think that you have an opportunity. So I don't hate the Saints defense if you have it on fantasy football, but I absolutely love the Broncos defense. I believe Kamara is playing. The guy that I'm kind of low-key excited about is Kendre Miller. This is a third-round pick out of TCU. And here's the deal. So Kamara's not even on the injury report. Kendre Miller, this is a kid I'm sorry, it's last year's. They're showing last year's numbers, but Kendre Miller, I really like this kid, and I think this offense fits his skill set. Where he's not a speed guy, but he has that one cut. The way it's kind of funny because anytime I hear a Kubiak or Shanahan's name, I think of that, like that zone running scheme where you just have that one cut and then burst. Depending on how many of you guys, I don't know the age of you guys, but there was an undrafted player by the name of Arian Foster, and he had some really good years with Houston. That's kind of what this Kendre Miller kid reminds me of. He's been injured. He might play a little bit, but Kamara is playing, and even though Denver's defense is really good, I could see Kamara. If you're in the PPR league, I expect a lot of catches, probably 4 to 7 in that range, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kamara gets in the end zone. But I'm expecting a low scoring game. Quick question for running back 2, half PPR: White, Tracy, Mozart, or Algier, or drop someone for Chandler. I wouldn't recommend dropping anyone for Chandler. That just personal preference, in my opinion. I'm really high on Mozart. That said, I also like Tracy. I mean, this is here's the deal with Tracy is that you're going against a tough Eagles defense. I mean, you're going against tough Eagles defense. You also lose. Andrew Thomas was playing out of this world. As far as I'm concerned, he was their best offensive player. Now, most people tell you Neighbors, but no, Andrew Thomas starting left tackle. He was just playing. With him being out, what kind of an impact are you going to have there? Mozart's going against a bad Colts defense. And Miami might look at this as kind of a must win. Now, Indianapolis, for some reason or another, is dying to put Anthony Richardson out there, even though the offense looks light years better with Flacco. So I don't think that they're in the same situation. I really like Mozart. I really, really like Mozart. This seriously, I would not be surprised if Mozart gets you something like 30 points. It really wouldn't surprise me if he has 100 yards and a couple touchdowns. Really wouldn't be surprised. If you want to go with Tracy, you could. Algier, Algier and White, I'm just not expecting much out of. I'll be honest. Mozart, I don't know if A-Chain's going to play or not. I should have checked that. I wasn't able to. I was kind of looking at a lot of stuff for Thursday night because I'm kind of geeked out about this game. I'm kind of excited about it. But yeah, Mozart could be a home run for you tonight, over the weekend. Bad Colts defense. He's rested. A-Chain may not play. There is a chance he gets like 25 touches against a bad defense. This could be, you could really hit a home run. Derek, what's up, brother? Yeah, I think you're gonna get some points tonight. Fuck! Oh man. This is gonna be, you know, I'm actually excited because I think I'm obviously a Chiefs fan. I have a feeling I'm gonna see a lot of Bo Nix over the next like 10 to 15 years. I really do. And I think there's a very good chance Spencer Rattler becomes a starter with the Saints. And the Saints, here's the deal with a loss and you lose 5 straight. You're Dennis, I'm sorry, Sean Payton comes back. Remember, his defensive coordinator for a long time was Dennis Allen. And Saints lose 5 straight. I think that the hot seat of Dennis Allen just gets turned up a couple notches, and you may just be saying, "Hey, let's just blow everything up now." The trade deadline's in a couple weeks. Who wants what? And you just say, "Look, I got a young quarterback in Rattler. We're gonna have some draft picks. Let's just blow everything up now," because there's some nice pieces on the Saints. There really is. But it might be time to just blow everything up. And I think a loss tonight by Sean Payton might accelerate things. So Derek has a great question here. Sit one. PPR, Wilson, Reed, Deontay Higgins. Oh God, that is a tough one. That's a tough one because I'll be honest, I like all four. If I was going to sit one, okay, so I like Reed and I like Deontay. Okay, it comes down to Wilson or Higgins. And Derek, I've seen you around, so you've heard me say this. It's what flavor do you like best? Is it chocolate or strawberry? That's kind of what I feel here. Higgins, you're going against a tough defense in Cleveland, but you have somebody on the other side. Okay, with Wilson, with Davante Adams coming back. How much is that? That's eaten into your touches. I just don't know how much. You're also going against a really tough Steelers team. Really tough Steelers team. Both Steelers and Cleveland have really good defenses. So, and you also have number ones. Now with Garrett Wilson, he's relegated to the number 2. But is it this week? That's kind of what you got to think of. I think it's between Wilson and Higgins. I would lean, and I hate to say it, because Aaron Rodgers only wants to throw to Wilson, but I might go Wilson this week. But and the reason why I say that is that you may just try to force feed Davante Adams. Just maybe he gets like 10 catches. You have no idea. If you're Pittsburgh, how do you play this? Do you put Joey Porter Jr. on Wilson, or do you put him on Adams? Higgins is a guy that's always been a little up and down, but I mean, the one thing about the Browns, even though the team's just been terrible, the defense is really, really good. The defense is good. I want to play Reed and I want to play Deontay. I want to sit Wilson or Higgins. I'm leaning Wilson, but I honestly I can argue this for a while. Yeah, I think Knicks is I'm really excited to watch him play. I'm also excited to see Spencer Rattler. But this game I think is going to be really, really, really good. As far as if the Saints lose, you could see an atom bomb. And, Dennis Allen could be gone during the season. Could it be like right after this game? Maybe, but I doubt it. But, I mean, 5 straight after that great 2-game start. Yeah, you have a lot of age on that defense too. It's kind of a shame because Funk, you've been with me for a while, so you know that when Peyton was with the Saints for years, I kept on saying like this is the best team in the NFC, and it was always weird stuff in the playoffs. Do you remember against the Rams, the no call pass interference? I mean, Saints fans complained about that for years. They lost against the Vikings. They're like 10-point favorites. Then they played the Vikings again, still lost. The Minneapolis Miracle before the pass interference, it was like some weird stuff. And they had with Breeze, they had some really good, really, really good teams. Remember they swept the Bucks in the regular season, and Drew Brees in the playoffs just had nothing. Brady took him out. So I'm excited about this game personally, but yeah. Oh yeah, Eric, dude. It's funny because he was a weird dude, but I mean, oh God, yeah. He was so much fun to watch. Yeah. Shaheed's on the IR. Olave is out. So if you have the Denver Broncos defense, you 100% need to play them. Kevin, what's up, brother? Dan, 4 out of 4. Thanks, man. Good call on Swift, Pollard over Connor this week. I'm debating between Davante Adams, Connor, Higgins in the flex thoughts. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, first of all, I would not be surprised to see Davante Adams get like 10 to 15 targets. How productive is he going to be on a short week against a really good Steelers defense? Joey Porter Jr., I could not tell you how much. By the way, Funk was really high on him too, but just coming out, I love this kid. Is he going to play Davante Adams? Is like if Davante Adams goes in motion, is Joey Porter Jr. going to go in motion with him? That's really the only question I want to know, because in this, like I mentioned with Garrett Wilson, if Porter's going to be on Wilson and you force Adams to beat you, then Adams could have a huge game. I mean, I would not be surprised if Adams has like 9 catches, 105 and a touchdown. Would not be surprised at all. I'm not so sure about Higgins. Now with Connor, it's a little interesting because I like running backs. I really like running backs in a flex. That Chargers defense is really, really, really good. Look, I really hate to tell you this because I mean I was 4 for 4. I really feel like I'm giving you some bad advice, Kevin. I'm gonna level with you. I feel like I'm giving you bad advice. I would go with Davante Adams, and the reason why I say that is that running backs are always better to play, especially in a PPR, at least in my opinion. But the Chargers defense is really good, and I have no idea what Arizona's doing right now. I mean, if you're an NFC West opponent, they're going to play you tough, but I don't know what they're doing. Higgins could have another big game, but I'm at a loss. Like it's always and the Browns defense is really good, very underrated defense. I think you have your most upside with Adams. That's my I really feel like I'm giving you some bad advice, but I would not be surprised if Rodgers says screw it. I don't care what kind of play they're giving me. I know what I can do. We need to win. He's getting 10 to 15 targets, whether you like it or not. I really could see something like that. So I would roll the dice and go with Davante Adams. And I mean, but yeah, I really feel like I'm giving you some bad advice, but I would go with Adams, believe it or not. Let me know what you do and stay in touch, man. I hope that even if it's bad this week, I get you next week because we're in mid-season. My goal is to win you a championship. I'm gonna do everything possible, but I would go with Adams. Yo, I'm in a predicament. I have K9's interesting. A-Chain, Swift, Chase Brown, and Tracy. Wow. You got some really good players here, man. You did a good job. You got some I've always been a big DeAndre Swift fan. Chase Brown, they like more than Moss for whatever reason. I've been offered A-Chain for Jalen Reed or Ayuk or DJ Moore. My receivers are Chase, nice. Brian Thomas Jr., nice. Downs and Mooney. You've been offered A-Chain for Jaden Reed or Ayuk or DJ Moore. Okay, so okay. Well, first of all, you want to make this move, in my opinion. You got a running back who's banged up. Mozart's coming back, so definitely make the move. Man, this is a tough one. I'm gonna level with you. Here's how I would rate the guys. Ayuk's got the most upside. All right, he held out. They need to get him involved. They gave him all that money. You got it. You got to get him involved. Okay. DJ Moore, even though I love Roma Duze, I'm one of the biggest Keenan Allen fans in the world. Moore's the number one guy. Williams is playing better. I mean, the thing is, though, it's kind of funny because if you got Swift, it's like one of these guys are going to hit Probably not both. Probably. Jaden Reed, is really proving me wrong. Really proving me wrong. So yeah, number one, I make the trade. Which one? It's really tough to say. But the one thing I like about your receiving room is that Brian Thomas Jr. has unlimited potential. Jamar Chase is your number one dude. I think he's the top 3 fantasy receiver all day. So you have some options. Which one you take? I'm going to use the same phrase I said before. What's your favorite flavor here? You got chocolate or strawberry? I would lean towards AOC. I would lean towards AOC. And I hate to say this, and the reason why I like AOC is that Brock Purdy's really good quarterback. By the way, nothing wrong with Jordan Love. Really good quarterback in his own right. I would kind of lean towards Purdy. Another thing is that Kittle and Debo always seem to get hurt. But I'll be honest with you, you could go with either one of them. By the way, make a move, but which one you take, I have I really wish I could give you a better answer, but make a move. You can get either one of these 3 guys. And by the way, I'm going to let you know, I would still start Chase. Brian Thomas Jr. is kind of a tough one, but I mean, the upside. As far as Josh Downs, until Joe Flacco becomes a starting quarterback, he has almost no value. So make the move. Which one you take? That's a tough one, man. I mean, I'm leaning AOC, but either one of those 3 is a good one. I wish I can give you a definite answer. Read AOC or more. I can't. I really, really can't. I think AOC's upside is going to go up. I'm now keep in mind, I think the Rams defense is going to get better, and the Cardinals always play the Niners tough. And by the way, AOC, hopefully he has a terrible game against my Chiefs, but in that NFC West, I mean, you got some defenses that aren't really that good. So I'm leaning AOC, but either in anyone you're doing good. By the way, make the move. I do suggest that. I like your team. Then I got sent this during all of this. Kyle Pitts, A-Chain Pittman for DJ Moore, McBride, and Zach Moss. All right, so DJ, here's the deal. You know what? I want to make sure I answer everybody's questions. By the way, I don't recognize you. I tend to go on rants. I don't mean to. I love this move. Now, when Flacco becomes starting quarterback, Pittman's value is going to go way up. But you win with McBride over Pitts. That's no brainer. Even though Pitts has unlimited potential, why they don't use him right, I have no clue. Yeah, I actually would not be surprised if Atlanta makes a waiver wire move with Pitts. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Why they got him in a 3-point stance, I have no idea. It doesn't make a damn bit of sense. I like Zach Moss because you do have Chase Brown. That's interesting. But DJ Moore, in my opinion, has much more value than Pittman. So I'll be honest with you. I would make this move here, DJ Moore, McBride, and Zach Moss. And then what I would try to do is, let me see here. You would get. Wait a minute. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I have this correct. You would be giving up Pitts, A-Chain, and Pittman for Moore, McBride, and Moss. Yeah. Make this move. what I would also do after you make this move, the same guy, is it the guy that's offering you Jaden Reed, right? See if he wants something, because you have some running backs that I would see if he would be interested in either Chase Brown or Moss. But I would 100% make this move. This is a good move. This is actually I don't know which one I like better. A chain for one of these three, or going 3 for 3 here, because I don't know why Cincinnati doesn't use Moss more than Brown, but you have Brown, so you like that. I didn't mean to do my cousin's impression. McBride's going to be a massive upgrade. Probably not a great game against a good Chargers defense, but you get more. More is going to be more productive than Pittman. So I mean, you win definitely 2 out of 3. Now, A Chain may not be as productive as Moss, but he's going to be more consistent. A Chain's always going to be ninja. I like the move, man. Like the move. Broncos or Saints? Deep Broncos. Ravi. Is it Ravi or Rabbi? But yeah. I would go with the Broncos. I think both are good plays. Derek, you're a Saints fan, man. You should be. That was the best team in football. That was the best team in football. It really was. It really was. That would have been a great Super Bowl. Brady and Breeze. Brady versus Breeze. It was really funny because I remember watching that game, and instead of being up 21-0 early, they were up 13-0. They had to kick some field goals. And I remember when they got up 13-0, I was like, that's going to come back and bite them. I said that then and there, that was going to bite them, because they should have really, if you remember that game, they should have been up 21-0 in the first quarter. And then that Rams team, solid team, don't get me wrong, they had a good defense. They had a really good defense. Goff was just okay. That team revolved around Gurley, and Gurley got hurt in the game before, if I remember correctly. Gurley didn't even play. Really bad no call. Really bad no call. Didn't have a dog in the fight, and I thought seriously, it's one of the worst calls in NFL history. The Saints had the better team, no question. Okay, so I'm a Chiefs fan. The Ravens had the best team in the NFL last year. Did they go to a Super Bowl? No, they did not. They were better than the Chiefs. I'm not going to tell you that they weren't. They self-destructed. Look, you hold the Kansas City Chiefs to 17 points at home. You need to win that game. But yeah, you should be. Forget, do they win? I don't know. But a Breeze Brady Super Bowl, that really needed to happen. I think NFL fans missed out, and I think the Saints had a better team. They really did have the better team. Do you remember what happened? It was the most boring Super Bowl of all time. It was 13-3, and I think I fell asleep. I mean, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm ranting. I'm gonna stop. Jesse, what's up, brother? Hey, man, I have Cup, Godwin, London, Olave, nice. Thomas, Addison at receiver, Brees, Kyron, Chubb at running back. Yeah, you need some help at running back. Okay. God, this is a tough one. Okay, first of all, Olave not playing tonight. You got some issues. Okay. You got some issues, but I mean, I'm looking at your roster. You're probably even if healthy, you may not be starting him anyway. Okay. It'll come to me in a second, but For some reason, I'm having a brain freeze with Thomas, but you know, Godwin was a guy that you could sell high. All right. Here's what you could do. I'm gonna throw this out there. Chubb is coming back, probably not going to have a good game against a good Bengals defense. Next week, he might be a real, because I'm a level with you. I like Breece Hall and I like Kyren Williams quite a bit. But these are your only 3 running backs. You do need some help. Okay, you could sell high on Godwin. You know, I don't know if you can get anything for Olave at this point. London's another guy, lots of upside. You could sell high. I like Addison to get you some consistent points, not really the number 1 dude. All right. Because what I'm thinking is probably the same thing you're thinking. Hey, I can keep Kupp and I can keep Chubb. And if these guys get healthy, I'm going to win. So since you have some question marks, I want you to have a little consistency. And I think Addison's consistent, but I apologize. You know, you come to me for help, and I'm staring at Thomas like I 100% know this, but I'm blanking. Okay. Olave's value is almost nothing. Okay. I would sell high on Godwin. But here's what I would do is which running back are you looking at? I mean, I don't know your league, but I'm kind of thinking Godwin's a guy that you could sell high. London's also a guy that you could sell high. Would I try to do a package? You could throw in Olave. Excuse me. I'm sorry. If I'm you, I would want to keep Kupp and I want to keep Addison. And the reason why I say that, Kupp could be your number 1 guy. Addison's out of these guys, except for Godwin, is going to be the most consistent. The reason why I'm looking at packaging Godwin is I'm a big fan of selling high. And that's what you would get. That's what you would do. You're going to have to reach out. But the one thing I don't want you to do is get rid of Chubb or get rid of Kupp, because the way I'm looking at your roster is that you have a really good chance to just dominate in the next couple of weeks when Kupp comes back at 100%. I also feel like you may have 3 really good running backs in Breece, Kyren, and Chubb. So I don't want you to I don't want you to mortgage the farm here. So I would kind of reach out, but I mean, both Godwin and London are guys that you can sell high. You could package Olave as well. I kind of want you to keep Addison and Kupp. That would be kind of my, that would be my pick there. And sorry, I'm not giving you better advice, and I kind of ranted a little too much. All right, got to quit the ranting. All right, Aldo, what's up, brother? Need a safe floor, not really high upside, favored to win by 20 points. Lockett, Addison, or worthy full PPR? Addison. Yeah, Addison. If you're favored to win, Addison's the pick. With Lockett, I would love to tell you Lockett, but they're using Jackson Smith and Jigba and DK Metcalf, and you also have a really, really, really tough matchup with a good Falcons secondary. Worthy's boom or bust. Tough Niners defense. This is a guy who could get you 30 points, or he can get you 2. Addison's easily the call. Addison at home. I know the Lions held the Cowboys to 9 points. I'm fully aware. I'm not sold on the defense, specifically the secondary. So I really think Addison's going to be solid for you. I think he gets you at least 10. So Briscoe, What's up, brother? Top two, Amari, Myers, Downs, picking full PPR at Nico and Shaheed on IR and CD on a bye. Ooh, okay. All right, so no, first off, no Downs. As long as Flacco's not playing, you can't use Downs. I would steer clear of Amari this week. Tough Tennessee defense. Don't get me wrong. I remember Amari, his first game against when he signed with the Cowboys, he had over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he could have something really, really special. I would still steer clear. Okay. I can't believe I'm saying Jacoby Myers on this just this terrible Raiders team that I just think is awful. But I didn't know he was on the injury report. Sidelined at practice with an ankle. All right. I actually looking at this and ESPN says he's sidelined. Okay. Pickens would be my number one. Tough matchup against the Jets. I get that. Don't know if it's going to be Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. Another bad issue, but here's the deal. I didn't know Jacoby Myers was on the injury report till right now. All right. Pickens is one. If Myers plays, I would have Myers. If he's on the injury report at all, go with Amari Cooper. I don't believe in Downs unless Joe Flacco takes over. So the good news is that Shaheed's out. So you just drop Shaheed. When Nico Collins comes back, Nico and CD could be dominant, and then with Amari Cooper, you have something potentially really special there. I'll be honest with you. You may want to roll the dice and just go Pickens and Amari. Just it's okay. So like if I was in a situation where I needed a safe floor, I think Myers, if he plays, is probably going to be solid. I think he's going to be good for, anywhere from like 5 to 8 catches, 60 to 80 yards. He may even score. Amari Cooper could have a huge game. And I remember like he was traded to Dallas Thursday night and he had 2 touchdowns. Like he was in Dallas for like 72 hours or something. And that sticks in my mind. Tennessee's defense is really, really good. That's why I would probably go Pickens and Myers, but I didn't realize Myers was on the injury report till now. Myers is on the injury report Saturday. Go with Amari Cooper, and good luck. Let me know how you do, brother. And I like the name, so I hope to hear back from you. So. Listen, you're in the right place. We're here to help. Yeah, it's a shame. So I against my Chiefs, it was kind of weird because I have a big man crush on Chris Olave, but it looks like Shaheed was becoming the number one guy. And a bunch of Chiefs players are on the Saints defense. I don't know if you saw it, but the Chiefs defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, gave huge hugs to everybody. Kalen Sanders was a guy I really wanted to stay in Kansas City. And I like Willie Gay. And there's not the Honey Badger was so important to Chiefs' first Super Bowl against the 49ers, not the second one, of course. He was with you guys, but Honey Badger is one of my all-time favorite players. Yeah, and by the way, Kevin, yeah, I like rolling the dice, but Yeah, yeah, exactly. And by the way, I just don't think. By the way, I could see Connor scoring a touchdown, but he's not going to have a massive game. Not against that Chargers defense. And we're going to help you. We're going to help you. We're here to help. Got offered Ayuk for Amari Cooper, tempting. You have Amari Cooper and you can get Brandon Ayuk. I would probably, that's a tough one. I want to say, I'm going to say that I would probably pull the trigger on that because I do expect Brandon Ayuk's production to go up. So. My speech is real fast. Part of that is that I talk fast. A lot of it has to do with streaming quality. It could be something with your phone. Sometimes on the phone, but I'll be honest with you. I'm here in Vegas. I have something called Cox Communication, and they are terrible. I've had to reboot my router this week, and then last week I was doing the show, and everything just went, yeah. Fluff, I vote Reed. Yeah, out of those three, I think he's going to make the other trade though. I hope you made it, man. Jeffrey, you're preaching to the choir. By the way, I don't know if you saw Justin Fields. They asked him about it, and he goes, "Hey, if I played better, it's not a question. 100% the correct way you answer that question." If Brian Thomas Jr., why I'm sorry, man. God, I feel like such a dummy. I'm sorry. I'm so embarrassed. There's a guy, Perry, you may or may not see in the chat. He's been telling me that this is the best receiver in the draft since March. So, God, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I'm going to get to this here. Now I know what you're... All right. Yeah. Same answer. It's just that now that I know you have, okay, keep Kupp, keep Brian Thomas Jr., keep Addison. Godwin, Monday, then and Olave you can move. Just full disclosure. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see Nick Chubb blow up for 150 and 3 touchdowns. Next week, you may want to go Brees, Kyren, Chubb, and then the hardest thing you're going to have to wonder is which receiver to start. But I want you to keep Kupp, if you don't mind. And by the way, Brian Thomas Jr., yeah. So I'm sorry about dropping the ball there. Yeah, and I don't understand why they just don't get all behind this guy. And Russell Wilson in Miami makes a lot of sense. The Raiders are flip-flopping quarterbacks. Send him out there. I mean, he's played in the AFC West. He kind of knows the teams. You have something. I don't get it. I really thought that, yeah, Jeffrey's preaching to the choir, brother. I hope I help you out, man. Stay in touch with me. Let me know how you do. Oh, my God, it's my boy, Tim. Hey, bro, Ryan was in In-N-Out Burger today near the Rangers training facility. You're kidding me, right? So for those of you who don't know, Ryan is Tim's brother, lives out here in Vegas. By the way, he hasn't reached out to me to say hi, and he didn't get me In-N-Out. By the way, I had In-N-Out for the first time a couple weeks ago. Oh, my God. They don't have it, and it's fantastic. I told myself I'd never go there because there's always this giant line of cars, and I'm like, you guys are morons. But yeah, it's really good. Ran into Mark Davis. By the way, I have to admit, like, even though I actually like what he's done with the franchise, believe it or not. A lot of people may disagree, but moving the team to Vegas and that Raiders training facility, I've driven by it. It's awesome. Like what they're doing is really good. And I like the fact that they hired Pierce after the intern, and it just hasn't panned out. That's all. But I like everything Mark Davis has done. This is a good one. So here's the drill. It's not really official that he's getting benched yet. So here's the drill. I want to tell you yes to go ahead and do this. The only problem is that he's going against a really good Broncos defense on a short week. And I honestly, I think that he's getting reps, but I don't know what's going on. And by the way, Derek Carr probably will come back in a few weeks. I mean, if this was a dynasty league that you're in, yeah, absolutely. Because I think Rattler's going to be the future with the Saints. I mean, there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts here with the Saints. I really could see them just blowing everything up completely. I mean, I could see them just atom bombing everything, taking a high draft pick and looking at either, as of right now, by the way, Jeff, we're going to do a lot of draft stuff, but I think the two top quarterbacks, things are subject to change. Shadir Sanders and Cam Ward. You could just atom bomb everything and then say, we're going to draft one of these two guys and build the team around one of these two guys. You see teams do this all the time. By the way, it worked with the Houston Texans. They had Davis Mills, who a guy I loved, promising third-round quarterback who looked really good at times. And they were like, nope, we're going to go C.J. Stroud. And it worked. And I could see the Saints trying something very similar. So it's not official, but let me ask you. I mean, because is there any other options available? Because I mean, by the way, like after this week, Derek Carr may come back. So, if you're going in a standard league and you're just wanting a backup quarterback, I'd almost stick with Fields because I know Russell Wilson's getting some snaps, but it's not really official. And I remember watching him in preseason. I was like, nothing looks good there. So I would kind of hold on to Fields, unless you're in a dynasty league. You may want to hold on to Rattler, but just full disclosure, after the season's over, you could see the Saints just blow up everything. I'm not a fan of A-Chain. And number one, he's injured, and with Mozart coming back, he's going to get relegated to the bench. With the receivers that you have, you can do something better than A-Chain. I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of looking at trying to get you like a 3-down back that might be under the radar. Kareem Hunt with the Chiefs is an interesting option. Tyron Tracy Jr. with the Giants, been getting some publicity. May not have a good game against the Giants, but or against the Eagles, but would be a guy I would kind of look at. The thing is, with those receivers, you had Godwin in London, you may be able to get something much better than A-Chain because these are big name players. Maybe, I mean, I'm spitballing, but I would go through your league. Who needs a receiver? more than likely somebody who needs a receiver is going to give you something a lot better in A-Chain. By the way, I've been negative on him, but I feel like I've been wrong. But Rico Dowdle of the Cowboys is getting every time he's on bye this week, but when he does, he's been playing better and better. Who's on the waiver wire that I've been recommending? Isaiah Garando, the 4th-round rookie out of Louisville, had that 76-yard run for the 49ers. That guy might even be on the waiver wire. But those big name receivers that you have, I'd rather even roll the dice with somebody like Jonathan Taylor, who's missed a few games. James Cook, who may not play this week, would be a fantasy football number 1. Tank Bigsby, who could be the number 1. I fully expect some changes to be made in Jacksonville. That might be something to consider. But A-Chain's not the guy I would go after, especially with those big names you have. You can do something a lot better. At least I'd like to see you do something better. But you might have to dig through your league. There's a lot to unpack here, and I want to answer everybody's questions. But I would look at some of the players in your league. Which one needs a receiver? Because somebody's going to want Godwin or London, and they'll give you more on A-Chain. I can almost guarantee you that. Drop Vitel in for memes. Lex, plant some trees. Oh, I love it. I love the name. I would, yes. I would, because I don't think Vidal's going to do much. I really don't. By the way, Means could, just full disclosure, he could have 3 catches for 20 yards. He could have 12 catches for 105 and a touchdown. It's all over. But yeah, I would. An issue with Amari Cooper is he could give you 7 to 10 games of dropping the football. Yeah. I've always liked Amari Cooper ever since he was a freshman at Bama. Always been an Amari Cooper guy. I could see things working with Josh Allen and just being Allen's go-to guy. I could also see him not even being close to the same page with Allen. I'm kind of looking forward to this. Sisu, what's up, brother? It's funny. I moved out to Vegas, and the most exciting thing I've done in Vegas so far is walk around in the parks. From Kansas, there's no mountains here. There's mountains. I love the mountains. I think they're beautiful. It's funny, people out here really don't appreciate it. Yeah, that's the most exciting thing I've done. All I've done is work and watch football, but yeah. I would sit Pittman until Joe Flacco becomes the starting quarterback. Yeah, dude. If you don't mind, I don't know anybody out here, so follow me on social media, man. Follow me on social media. I just moved out here in February. I love it. I haven't done anything. I've had the most boring Vegas existence. I've watched football, I've worked, and I've walked in a park, and that's it. I love the parks out here, though. It's beautiful. The hot, dry weather, I love. The dryness has messed with me a little bit, but I like the heat. But yeah, man, Briscoe, I hope to hear more from you, brother, and I'm going to do everything humanly possible to help you win. Get you turned around to fantasy football. Hope you win a championship. We'll start with this week. Caleb Davis, what's up, brother? Should I give up CD Hunt? No. All right. So first of all, CD Lamb and Chase are kind of a push. I would lean towards CD Lamb. I think CD Lamb's probably my number one receiver in fantasy football. Chase is 2 or 3. All right. Giving up CD Lamb plus for Chase, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hold on to Hunt, by the way, because I like some of these options that you have at running back. I like Mixon. They use Gibbs more than Montgomery. I don't know why. Tracy could be the number one guy, regardless of I remember they were calling him Motor, and I love that running back too. Singletary, regardless of if Singletary comes back or not, he may be the number one guy. Bigsby could. I don't know what his extent of Etienne's injuries are, but I get why, because you have some good running backs. I would hold on to Hunt, but do not give up CD Lamb plus for something. I would say it's just the opposite. If you're going to give up CD Lamb for Chase, and let's just say you want to do that, you should be asking for Chase plus, not giving up CD plus. Please don't do this. Please don't do this. By the way, Jamar Chase, I love Jamar Chase. But no, please don't do this. I hope that even though I gave you advice you probably didn't want to hear. Yeah. I like the name, man. It's kind of cool. Arrow Chill. Hey, guy, I have Aaron Jones and Deebo Samuel slated to play this weekend. Both of them banged up, of course. If I should start Sutton tonight or Juju and just pray that they both play Sunday. That's a tough one. Aaron Jones, I'm not sure he plays. I'm kind of expecting Deebo to play. The reason why is it's Kansas City. I'm as far as Sutton or Juju, that's a tough one. I mean, I'm a Chiefs fan. I want to tell you Juju, but I have a feeling Sutton's going to get in the end zone. Excuse me. I don't think Aaron Jones is going to play. I do think Deebo is going to play. You should hold on to that. So Aaron Jones, I'm assuming Aaron Jones is your flex, and God, that's a tough one because I mean you have a 3-down running back in a massive game. I mean, so I'm on ESPN right now. Jones hamstring hip, return to practice Wednesday. Okay. I'm gonna level with you, man. A 3-down back against a receiver. I'd always go with a 3-down back in a big game. I know Detroit's held Dallas to 9 points. I'm still not sold on the defense there. This is a huge game, probably game of the week. I would go with them. Deebo Samuel is going to do everything humanly possible to play against Kansas City. ESPN's not the best source, by the way, but one day ago, Kyle Shanahan said Samuel will be limited at Wednesday's practice due to a wrist injury. All right. I have a weird feeling Sutton's going to get in the end zone tonight, so you may hate me. Here's what I would do. I would hold on to Aaron Jones and Deebo Samuel. I would roll the dice at both these guys. Big games are going to be healthy. All right, that's my advice. That's what I suggest you do. If it turns out to be Samuel doesn't play, go with Juju. All right. Guys, I have to take a quick commercial break, but when I come back, I'll be back with hour 2 of Afternoon Delight. Stay tuned. As Afternoon Delight is on a commercial break, we want to remind you that BetUS is a proud affiliate of Dan Talks Football. I made my first $100 deposit and it was fast and easy, but check it out for yourself. The video's in the description below. Check out BetUS and start winning today. The award-winning NFL Week 7 Picks video is out. Make sure you watch it and drop a comment on how you think your team will do this week, or pick all 15 games. Your comments help. Check it out. The link is in the description below. All right. Yes. Hour 2 of Afternoon Delight is here, and I have a super chat. Yes. Oh, God. Wow. This is a good one, man. Christian, I hope I give you the correct answer because I'm honored by the super chat. Neighbors and Gibbs, 2025 first, 2026 first for Justin Jefferson. Wow. That's a good one. All right. So let me I want to make sure I give you the right answer because Justin Jefferson, I would rank fantasy football receivers as CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, 1, 2, and 3. If you want to flip flop Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, I wouldn't be mad at you. I would make this move, and the reason why I make this move is that I don't know if you follow college football or not. There's a running back in Boise State probably going to win the Heisman. He's the favorite. So Alshon Gentry. I haven't seen a guy do things like this in college football since Barry Sanders. I'm not joking. You have this guy could be fantasy football gold. All right. Look, you're getting 2025 first round picks. I'm giving you some opportunities because this draft coming up is a really big defensive draft. There are some quarterbacks. I mean, I'm going to level with you. I mean, Shadir Sanders, people have different opinions on him. I've been watching Cam Ward and the success that Jaden Daniels is having. You put Cam Ward in the right type of situation, you could have something very similar. Gibbs, they're using more than Montgomery, as much as I hate it. And going forward, look at what you have. You have a really good offensive line, really good skill position players. So he's always going to be a solid running back number 2. The Neighbors concussion thing bothers me, but when he played, he was a wide receiver number 1. I have no idea about 2026. I don't know how old you are, Christian, but years ago, the Dallas Cowboys traded their best player to the Minnesota Vikings for a bunch of draft picks, and that's how they built the dynasty. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is that you have an opportunity to sacrifice maybe the best receiver in football, maybe the best receiver in fantasy football, and you might be able to build yourself a dynasty with this. I would pull the trigger. That's listen, man, I need you to hit on these. Christian, do me a favor, stay in touch with me. Let me know what you do. I didn't do it this year, but next year I'm going to be doing a draft guide video, multiple draft guide videos. I'm going to do a guide, the how to draft for fantasy football. Already got kind of the blueprint down. My buddy Tim, I don't know if you saw the comment earlier. He's in a fantasy football league with defensive players. I helped him out with making some trades last year that helped him out. I think he made the money. I don't think he won, but I know he made the money. Stay in touch because I'm going to have more videos with how. A couple of years ago, I did a fantasy football sleeper video. I'm going to try to do a sleeper video, a draft video. So stay in touch with me. But yes, short answer, I would make this move. You could be building something great. Is Justin Jefferson the best receiver in football? I had a buddy of mine who's a Vikings fan, said, hey, who's better? And I said, that's a tough one. Fantasy football wise, I might rank CeeDee Lamb higher. If I had to choose between the two, Justin Jefferson, no question. So Caleb thinks it's such a good trade that But Neighbors gives 2 2025 first, two. And by the way, I don't know if it's random. I don't know what it is for your first, but I'm already looking at the draft. This kid out of Boise State, you cannot draft this guy high enough. You cannot draft this guy high enough. Like I was talking yesterday, and I don't think the Raiders will do this because I think they're going to draft a quarterback. But right now, the Raiders pick 6. If he goes to the Raiders and they fix the quarterback situation and they, who knows what they're going to do offensively. Yeah, you could do some really good stuff. Christian, thank you for the super chat. Hopefully I gave you a good enough answer. Get back to this. I want to make sure I emphasize this. Keep an eye out on the injury report. Aaron Jones and Samuel. I do expect Sutton to score tonight. Just full disclosure. Let me know what you do, and stay in touch with me. Drop Vidal or Ray Davis for DeAndre Hopkins and or Braylon Allen. All stashes 10-team PPR. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. There's a lot. I'm a Chiefs fan, so I've been seeing this. DeAndre Hopkins at Kansas City. I don't think it's going to happen. Do I think DeAndre Hopkins moves? Yes. He doesn't fit in that offense at all. It hasn't worked. Will Levis isn't the answer. Now, I do think there's going to be a quarterback change in Tennessee, and there's a possibility. I loved Mason Rudolph coming out of college. I have no idea why it hasn't panned out. When he played in Pittsburgh last year, he was head and shoulders the best quarterback. It made no sense for me why the Steelers didn't give him a legitimate chance. I don't know. You have some upside with DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, massive upside. Same with Braylon Allen. I mean, but the thing is with Braylon Allen, you're always going to be second fiddle. I would really. I'm going to level with you. If you're going to drop one of these guys, drop Vidal and pick up Hopkins. Hold on to Ray Davis. Full disclosure, I love the story. If you haven't heard the story, I've already ranted and I'm behind on comments, so I'm not going to go over it, but I love the story. Yeah. By the way, Briscoe, Google Fiber's coming out here. I had Google Fiber in Kansas City for like 8 years, 2 outages. Both were fixed in under an hour. Like when Google Fiber comes out here. So when I moved, I had to cancel Google Fiber, and I talked to the guy, and I'm like, I got a YouTube channel. He's like, I'm a huge YouTube fan. He sent me a text once I moved out here a few days later after I canceled. He goes, hey, next year we're coming out to Vegas. And I'm like, I will sign up. I don't know which part. Stay in touch with me. But when Google Fiber comes out here, sign up for it. I will pay double what it's actually funny. When I was in Kansas City, they were I was only paying $70 a month for Google Fiber, and I had the upgraded version. And I forget the name of the company, but they're like, you have Google Fiber, like, and I was like, yeah, and like, hey man, we're like a third the price, and I was like, no, you're like a fifth the quality. I'm sorry about the rant, but yeah, when Google Fiber comes out here, sign up for Google Fiber. I know I will. I mean, I'm sorry it took me a while to get to your question, but yeah. Freezy Fantasy. Freezy, but anyway. 10-man PPR trade Bijan Robinson and DK for Jamar Chase and James Conner, and other running backs are Derrick Henry, Brian Robinson, Chase Brown, and Nick Chubb. Ooh. Okay. God, that's such a good one, because you have a chance to break the bank with Chase. I think Connor's going to be phased out, but you have an opportunity. It may not matter, because by the time he gets phased out, Nick Chubb may be your number one running back. DK Metcalf's been surprisingly consistent. But John Robinson has a big ceiling. It's a real tough one. I'm leaning towards it, and even though I love you. By the way, if you do make this move, you're gonna have some weeks where DK Metcalf blows up. You're gonna have some weeks that John Robinson blows up. Jamar Chase may be a guy that gets you 15 to 20 every single week. In your situation, I would do it. And the reason why is that you have Derrick Henry, who I think will break down sooner or later. Okay. Just full disclosure, but Nick Chubb may be able to pick it up. They like Chase Brown more than they like my guy, Zach Moss. I have no idea why. And also like Brian Robinson quite a bit. I know he's banged up. I like Brian Robinson. I like the way they're using him. I don't like the way they're using Eckler, but that's near here nor there. With James Conner, you're not going to play him this week against the Chargers, probably. I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't recommend it. You have to start Derrick Henry every single week. Why wouldn't you? So here's why I make this move. With Derrick Henry and Jamar Chase, you have two legitimate number ones. Connor's going to be solid until Chubb gets back. If Chubb comes back and he's the form, you win in fantasy football. You're going to win. I would make this move. You get an upgrade at receiver. You lose on the running back, but you have Derrick Henry, you have Nick Chubb, and Brian Robinson and Chase Brown are both guys with really high ceilings. So you are rolling the dice a little bit. Short answer, yes. I think that you're going to hear this, but I don't think it's going to happen. Even with Brady getting minority ownership. Do I think Pierce is here for the long term? No. I actually think that he will be gone, but I don't think it's going to be Belichick who will take over. I really don't. I think he's enjoying doing TV. I really do. I know he wants that all-time record. There'll be a lot of talk, but I don't think it's going to happen. I hope I'm wrong, because I would love to see it. I think it'd be fun. By the way, Caleb's right though. Like By the way, that's actually great advice. I mean, that's the whole point of this channel is Brian Robinson and DK for Chase straight up. And you're right, because I agree, because like John Robinson's a guy. This is actually fantastic. This is much better than my advice. Don't listen to me, listen to Caleb. By the way, Freezy, if I would do what he said, I would do this, but he's right. Listen, this is going to be a channel that I'm not always going to have the right answers. This is never going to be a channel where what I say goes. This is never going to be one of those channels. I've listened to a lot of channels, if you don't agree with the host, that you get made fun of and insulted. This is not that place. Caleb's right. I am wrong. This is great advice. Because like, you are taking a loss at the running back position, but you have Derrick Henry. I do think Nick Chubb, when he comes back, and I don't agree with this, but they're using Chase Brown more than they're using Zach Moss. And I do like Brian Robinson, but yeah, he's right. Yeah. Christian, Caleb, by the way, Caleb, please subscribe. Come on here more, man. God, dude, you're on. Remember that? Well, I don't know. You look, I'm judging from the thumbnail, you look young. Back in the 90s, they had this game, NBA Jam, and the guy would go, "He's on fire." He hit 3 baskets in a row. He's on fire in a basket. Yeah, you're on fire right now. Yeah. Christian, please, if you don't mind, drop in the comments. Let me know if you do this. Hey, Dan. Trey, what's up, brother? Man. Means or McConkey that's a tough one, man. Okay. Manager trained. That's a real tough. Here's the deal with Means. You could get 3 catches for $20. You could get. I'm sorry, I got a little distracted here. All right. You could get 3 catches for about 20 yards. You could get 10 catches for 105 and a touchdown with Means. You have no idea. I'm not high on McConkey, but the matchup's kind of favorable this week. McConkey, higher floor, Means higher ceiling. So. Ooh, oh God. Oh God. Yeah, you do not have some. This is not good. All right, Jeffrey, sorry. All right, let's be real. Watson, higher highest ceiling, to be honest. With Nick Chubb coming back, you don't know. He's just been so disappointing. I wouldn't blame you. I think Rattler might get you some yards, but you may get a garbage time touchdown. Aiden O'Connell, I don't know. God, these are not good options. I really think that the Bengals, this is where the Bengals start turning things around. But I mean, you do have a lot of potential in Watson. I mean, it's just been so bad. I really hate to say this. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm leaning towards Aiden O'Connell. So. Hold on here. So I got like an advertisement in here that I'm not. Yeah. 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 All right. Sorry. I can't. Can somebody? I don't. you know what? I apologize because I'm getting some comments in here that I can't. How do I delete these? All right, never mind. So, what's up, brother? If you I'm going to give you a bad answer here. If you're looking for guaranteed points, I would go McConkey. If you're projected to lose, I would go Means. With Means, you have a massive spectrum. But yeah, I would, yeah, do it. This ain't a good one. My man, Pots and Pans. Are we sticking with Rodgers over Kyler? Any update on Cooper Kupp? Okay, so Cooper Kupp's back at practice. I personally do not think he will play. I don't think he would play. I do like Rodgers over Kyler Murray. I do. You're first in your league, dude. That is so awesome. Yeah. By the way, I mean you're first in large part to having Justin Jefferson. I get that. But listen, with all that draft capital and you're in a dynasty league, you have a chance to dominate for a long, long time. And here's the deal. Neighbors, I think, is coming back. There's no guarantee. Gibbs is going to be solid. I mean, he's not the number one dude, but he is going to be very solid. So, I mean, you got some really good things there. So, yeah, make the move, man. Make the move. Please stay in touch with me. And again, I can't thank you enough for the super chat. Noah, should I trade Higgins for Hubbard? I have CD on bye this week. I have Puka, who may come back next week. Also have Jonathan Taylor and Mason, who may both this week. Should I do it? That's a real tough one, man. I do like Hubbard quite a bit. Full disclosure. I've been wrong about a lot of these. So full disclosure, I'm going to give you my gut reaction. I can almost promise you Jonathan Taylor is going to be out this week. All right. I think that they're trying to get him back the following week. Mason, I think, is going to play. I'm almost positive Mason's going to play. And by the way, if you have the opportunity, if you haven't already, Isaiah Garando, the fourth round rookie out of Louisville on the 49ers, I would strongly consider picking him up. He was on the waiver wire, probably got picked up already, but if he is available. I do like the Higgins for Hubbard trade. Keep in mind, I mean, if you do this and you have CD on a buy, you do have a massive hole. And I'm telling you right now, Taylor's probably not going to play. I will say this though, I'm projecting Hubbard to have a massive week. I'm not sold on the Washington defense. I don't know if you watched my video or not, but I give score predictions of every single game. I like Carolina to do some good things this week. I really like Hubbard this week. I would make this move. I really would make this move. I'm not. By the way, don't bank on Puka coming back. I don't think he's coming back next week. I think he's out for another couple of weeks, but I would make this move. And by the way, you have a good chance if Taylor does come back to have 3 really good running backs. So yeah, keep in mind you make this move. By the way, if you make this move, like you do have 2 other receivers who can play, right? I want to make sure because I don't want you just to have a blank, but yeah. Another Dan. That's awesome. I like the B2387 From one Dan to another, what do you think of this trade? I've offered CeeDee Lamb, Evan Ingram, and Jordan Mason for Neighbors, Hunter Henry, and Kenneth Walker. Half point PPR prevent running back was worth their downgrade at tight end and wide receiver. Man, and yeah, I would not recommend this. One Kenneth Walker is a little injury prone. I know Jordan Mason, and by the way, I think that not only is he banged up, I think Garando will kind of replace him. You could have some massive upside. I've always been a Hunter Henry fan, by the way, but like he's on a different tier than Evan Ingram. But Jacksonville's a disaster right now. I mean, you don't know what's going on. The concussion issue really bothers me, but for Neighbors, it really does. But let's say Neighbors is fine, you're still taking a downgrade at your wide receiver position. I mean, there's a lot of factors in here. I need a little more information, but I'm gonna level with you, man. I would not do this. I really, really, really would not do this. I think CeeDee Lamb's a wide receiver number one. I think he's the best receiver in fantasy football. I really do. Look, you have a pass heavy team, right? Pass heavy coach. You just paid both of them a boatload of money. Who really like is Jerry Jones a hands-on owner? I think he is. Of all the owners, which one's most likely to call the coach and say, "Hey, you need to throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb the most"? There's not two owners in the league that I'm thinking are more likely to do that than Jerry Jones. You have injury issues for both Neighbors and Walker that you have to consider. I by the way, man, I mean, I get it. I really get it because you not only is Mason banged up, I think his touches are going to start going down. So I get why. And Kenneth Walker's solid when he plays, but you have an injury issue. I'd really like to see you do something else. I like what you're thinking. I'm assuming you have some studs at the receiver and tight end position. I don't want to see you take a loss at two positions that you're probably solid at already, just so you can improve running back. Chris T, what's up, brother? I like Juwan Johnson. Taysom Hill should be all right. Let's go to ESPN again. Not the best source. Taysom Hill is doubtful. I was really thinking he would play. Doubtful's bad. Okay. Juwan Johnson, I like Juwan Johnson. How much production he's going to have against a tough Denver defense, I don't know, but I think I would rate him like a low end one, very high end two. But yeah, I like Juwan Johnson. All right, yeah, not much comp out there. Yeah, Conklin. Conklin's not bad either. I mean, but I'll level with you out of Conklin and Juwan Johnson. I would go with Johnson. You have some bad matchups, unfortunately. I heard Cup might be traded to the Ravens. Do I move away from Zach? So before I get on, Damian Brashkoroff. I'm probably butchering the name. I'm very, very, very sorry. I'm going to go TB if that's okay. So before I get on the show, I go and I scour social media sites. Occasion. I mean, look. I mean, I'm in the States, obviously. Maybe I should say obviously, but I haven't seen anything remotely close to Cup being traded. I haven't seen this at all. I'll be honest, and there's a few. I mean, I haven't seen this one either. This actually makes a ton of sense, to be honest with you. This actually would make a ton of sense. It's just that the way the contract set up, Arizona has to eat a insane amount of money. I haven't heard anything about this. This kind of floors me. I'll be honest with you. I don't understand the logic from the Rams because, listen, I know this is going to sound crazy because I know this is going to sound a little nuts, but listen, I know the Rams are 1-4, right? I know they're 1-4, but Arizona's 2-4, Seattle's 3-3, and San Francisco's 3-3. San Francisco plays Kansas City. That's not a bad team. Seattle's traveling cross country to Atlanta to play in an early game. The Rams play the Raiders. You see what you see where I'm going is that you have a good chance with Cup and Puka and your offensive line coming back and a couple rookies on your defensive front seven. You're one game out of first after week 7 potentially. And you want to get rid of it. It doesn't make any sense. Like it just doesn't. I have not heard anything like this at all. Now look, next Thursday you play the Vikings. That's a tough game, but look, at Seattle, Miami, at New England, these are 3 very winnable games. I mean, you're putting yourself in a really good position. The Cup traded to the Ravens. I have not heard anything about that. Before I come on, I scour social media and check ESPN, the NFL Network. I haven't heard anything like this. Then again, Jeff's is telling me I haven't heard this at all. So I'm kind of at a loss of where you got your information. I'm not discounting what you're saying. I believe that you heard this. It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes sense for the Ravens to try to make a move like this, but by the way, if I was Cooper Kupp, why would I want to move on from Matthew Stafford to Lamar Jackson? Why do I want to go away from the NFC West and playing a brutal AFC North? I mean, nothing about it makes sense. Now, Zay is my wide receiver number 4. Hopefully the name calling's all done in fun, but no. The one thing about Zay Flowers is did I catch your trade question before that? This is the only one I got. That if you put in a trade, I missed it. So I missed it. So but no, I would not move away from Zay at all. And if you have a trade, do you mind putting it in again? Because I think I missed. By the way, I'm always a fan of selling high. If you're going to move on from Zay Flowers, this is the time to do it, but you got to get good trade compensation. You have to get good trade compensation. If you're going to sell high, it means you get a good return on investment. I wanted to see you, if you do move on from Zay Flowers. By the way, do not move on from Zay Flowers for Cooper Kupp. Because, or I'm sorry, correction. Do not move on from Zay Flowers because you think Cooper Kupp may be traded. Of all the trade rumors I've heard, this one doesn't make sense. I literally, before I come on, I scour social media, get on ESPN, get on the NFL Network, and I try to find as much information as I can because I want to present that to you guys. It's kind of my morning routine. I call it afternoon delight. So like for me, it's morning, but yeah, don't. I'm not against moving on from Zay Flowers. I want you to get good compensation for them, and do not do this because of a rumor that there's a lot of guys on social media. If you pick this up on social media, there's a lot of guys that want to do clickbait. There's a lot of I go out of my way to try not to ever do anything clickbaity. I really hate it. Matter of fact, a lot of accounts I follow, if you do some clickbait type of stuff, there was one account I used to follow as a sports betting account. Then he rented some Corvette and some girl who was doing like a dance in the car, and I was like, dude, no. By the way, if you watch some of my videos, I have like a little joke thing about girls in bikinis, but it's meant to be fun. This guy was like trying to present himself as this rich dude, but anyway, all right, I'm ranting, sorry, but no, selling Zay Flowers is not a bad idea. Get good return on investment. Yeah, I mean, I kind of do also, man. God, I want to rant on this so much, but I have a bad habit of ranting. I'm just going to say this, like everything that happened to Watson, I don't believe was factual. I really don't. If you go back and you look at the details, what happened was he was told if he paid this 6-figure settlement that they would sign an NDA, nothing would happen. What happens when a crime's committed or something like this? What do people usually do? They go to the police. These people went to a lawyer and asked for money. And when Deshaun Watson said no, what did the lawyer went ahead and pulled the like, hey, look, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go and press charges. That's what he said he was going to do. He went to the district attorney. District attorney looked at this and said, no, I'm good. They went to the police department. Police were like, nah, we're good. This was a case that legal entities took a look at everything, decided that there's not enough information here to press charges. These are facts. He's being pursued in civil court, not criminal court. So I don't believe it. We live in a day where believe all women at all times. I am not at that. I think if a crime was committed and you didn't go to the police, I have a hard time believing you. That's just the way it is. The draft picks, the compensation, everything that's going on. I've said this a lot of times, Jeff. You're relatively new to my channel, but I've said this a lot. Quarterback is the only position where external factors really affect more than any other position. If you're a good running back and you don't have a good offensive line, you don't have a good quarterback, you don't have good, you can still be successful if you're a really good running back. If you're a good receiver, you will produce even though you have bad quarterback play. Garrett Wilson last year had over 1,000 yards. Jordan Addison, his rookie year, with like 4 or 5 different quarterbacks in Minnesota, still had 10 touchdowns. So, but quarterback's different. I'm a Chiefs fan. Patrick Mahomes went into the perfect situation. He got to sit for a year behind Alex Smith, who put his arm around him and said, "Hey, I'm going to help you." I remember, you probably don't even know who this is. Great. I forget. I drew a blank. We went to the same high school together. I'm so embarrassed. I'm having a brain freeze here. Drew Lock. Drew Lock got drafted, high second-round pick for the Denver Broncos. That offseason, they signed Joe Flacco to a big-time deal. They asked Joe Flacco, "Hey, how are you going to help out Drew Lock?" And he goes, "It's not my job." 2 completely different type of situations in the AFC West. You get Patrick Mahomes, he goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. He has Alex Smith who mentors him, who helps him out. You get Drew Lock, he goes to the Denver Broncos. At the time, they had Vic Fangio, a defensive-minded coach, and a veteran quarterback who wanted nothing to do with him. You're probably wondering who Drew Lock is. Exactly. And by the way, so then the Flacco moves on. They bring in Teddy Bridgewater. Drew Lock's infinitely better than Teddy Bridgewater. I said this at the time. If you don't start Drew Lock, everybody's going to get fired at the end of the year. What happened at the end of the year? Everybody got fired. Bridgewater's coaching high school football, and Drew Lock is in New York right now. He was with Seattle and now he's at New York. If you put Drew Lock in a situation that he had an opportunity to be successful, he would be a starting NFL quarterback. He's got the talent. My point, everything Cleveland's doing is wrong. And it seems like it should be. They changed the offense. Stefanski changed his offensive scheme to match. But why'd you trade for a guy who doesn't fit with the scheme that your coach is coaching? Doesn't make any damn sense. You also have injuries galore. I don't know what's going to happen in Cleveland. I really don't. If I'm Deshaun Watson, my altering my contract so I'm not getting $46 million guaranteed over the next several years? No. Who would do that? But yeah, it's not a good situation. Sorry for the rant. All right. Sorry it took me a while, man. Two running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, PPR 10-man team got offered Neighbors for Mixon and Amari. That's okay. Somebody's giving you Neighbors for Mixon and Amari. Running backs are Barkley, nice. Brees Hall. Oh wow. I was going to tell you don't do this, but now I understand why. Chase, Debo, Ayuk, Amari, Brian Thomas Jr., Dell. Am I crazy for wanting? Number one, you're not crazy for wanting to accept at all. You're not. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to advise against it. But are you crazy for wanting to accept? No, you're not. And I get why you want to do it because, in a PPR, Mixon doesn't. He had some. I think he had a receiving touchdown last week, but I'll be honest with you. Out of these running backs, Barkley's your one. Kyron Williams' value is about ready to explode. Brees Hall, you don't know. I think it's going to go up though, and Chubb could be as high as anybody. The guy I would want to move out of your 5 running backs, Mixon's the one you want to move. You're in a situation where you could sell high. All right. Right now, you're not even playing Amari Cooper. Chase is your one. Yeah, I mean, AOC's value is going to go up. Brian Thomas Jr. has been playing well. Dell's the only one you definitely have on the bench, and I mean, Debo. Hopefully, you've been playing him when he's productive, but keep an eye out on the injury report. But this is a great team. This is a great team. I don't blame you because you have an opportunity to move the one running back that you do want to move. And honestly, even if Amari takes over as the number one receiver there, I mean, you got a couple guys here that you're playing instead. And Neighbors could be your number 2 guy, but Neighbors could be, I don't see it this year, but could be a number 1 guy. I understand your logic. I actually would not blame you if you pulled the trigger. I'm going to advise against it. And the reason why I advise against it is that, number 1, I want to find out if Neighbors comes back, because if he misses 3 straight games and he's gone with 3.5 weeks with a concussion issue, I don't know if I want to trade assets that are being productive, because I may want to make another move. Amari Cooper may have a little more value. So, by the way, if you pull the trigger on this, man, I don't blame you, because out of the 5 running backs you have, the one I want to move is Mixon, and your receivers are better. But I would hold off. If you can, I would hold off, because, again, we don't know if Neighbors is going to play. Being gone 3.5 weeks bothers me. So that I would hold off, but I wouldn't blame you if you did. Let me know what you do, man. Let me know what you do. Stay in touch with me. By the way, you have a great team. Stay in touch, because this is a team that should win you a championship. Let me know. Can you drop it? Because I didn't see a trade question. You brought up this, but I didn't see the trade. Yeah, I'm always. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, okay. Thanks, man. By the way, I'm never a fan of name calling unless it's done in a fun way. I don't want people, let's not be internet tough guys. But you get, what I'm saying. I encourage a little trash talk, but I want everything to be fun. But yeah, I get it. I have not seen. By the way, Jeff, if you follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter, X, and Instagram. If you saw it on either one of those platforms, can you send that to me? Because that's one thing I haven't seen. But I'm going to level with you. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense for both teams. It really does. I haven't seen this at all. I have not seen this at all. It would make a lot of sense. The problem is with Kyler Murray's contract is the Cardinals would have to eat a lot. But if you can get enough trade compensation, it would make sense. You have a defensive-minded head coach, so here's another issue is that you have a defensive-minded head coach. I would love for them to pick up Cam Ward in the draft if I was the Cardinals. I would love to see him pick up Cam Ward and say, look, we've had enough of Kyler Murray. We're going to pick up Cam Ward. He's our guy. Deion Sanders has already been public saying that he's going to be very involved in Shadir's draft process. And he put a list of teams together. I should have kept it, but he wants Shadir to go to a major media market. That is not Arizona. I want to go to a good, stable franchise again, not Arizona. But if you're Arizona, you could pitch Dion and his son. Look, I got Marvin Harrison Jr. I got some good players on defense. We have a lot of draft capital that we can, bring some players over that, you would want. So I'll be honest, I'm drawing a blank. I don't even know who Arizona's backup quarterback is. I'm drawing a complete blank. I should know this. Clayton Tune, the 5th round pick. God, if you do this, you're just blowing up the whole season. By the way, if the Cardinals do this, I haven't seen this at all, but look, I'm just spitballing here. It makes sense for Miami. I mean, you by the way, you're still locked in on Tua, so that I this would be interesting. But Dave, by the way, if you can send me this, Ingram or Kraft, that's a tough one. I would lean towards Ingram. The matchup's tough. I mean, the Patriots, even though they have a bad team, the defense is very good. I can say the same thing about Houston, but you're at home. I mean, it's hard for me to sit here and tell you that a quarterback making his second start I'm sorry, I got him mixed up. I got him mixed up. Ingram's playing against New England. The best part is that I really think both of these guys are going to be productive. I really do. I don't think you're going to make a wrong answer. I don't think you're going to, one's going to get shut out. I would really lean towards Ingram. I'm looking at those 10 catches last week. Now, a lot of it had to do with that the Bears are playing a little bit of prevent. I think this game's going to be much closer, but Brian Thomas Jr. is kind of the main target. Downfield, most likely to score. I think if you're the Patriots, you're going to attack this game as in, hey, we're going to put pressure on Lawrence. We're going to take away Brian Thomas Jr. And if Ingram gets 10 for 102, who cares? Because they did that last week and lost by 24. I'm not really sure how Houston's going to attack this because you got so many different weapons. So I don't think this is itching. But I would go with Ingram, but I don't think you're making a bad decision either way. Jason, what's up, brother? Don't start Richardson or May. Your only answer is Purdy or Love, and both of them are going against tough defenses. I mean, Purdy's playing against my Chiefs. Jordan Love's playing against a tough Houston Texans team. I would lean towards Love, but that might just be my Chiefs bias. The one thing I do want to warn you about is Kansas City's coming off of a bye. Okay. And you do have some injury issues in San Francisco. Jordan Mason's banged up. Deebo Samuel's banged up. I'm leaning towards Love. I do think that even though both teams have some defensive players, I think that out of the two games, Kansas City and San Francisco and Houston and Green Bay, I think Houston Green Bay has the potential to be much more of a shootout. I like Kansas City's defense better than I like Houston's defense, but I might be biased. Richardson's a mistake. Do not. I know Miami has some issues, but look, they're fresh off of a bye. I have no confidence in it. I'm gonna level with you. Like you have of all the quarterbacks here, no quarterback in the NFL is I would bank on to get injured more than I bank on Anthony Richardson. Drake made his second NFL game. You don't know. I mean, he could have a good game. I would go with Love, but I'll level with you. It's either Love or Purdy, and you could go with either or. But I really think out of all these four, I think Love's most likely to really have a good game. Yeah. I think Richardson may have a terrible game, and Drake May is a massive unknown. So, Austin, what's up, brother? Hey, Dan, how you feel about Stroud versus Hurts long term? I think I want to pursue Hurts because later in the season he has an easier schedule. Yeah, okay. Well, I like the logic there that you're thinking of, and let's take a look at this schedule. Okay. It may not be as easy as you think. Okay. Giants have a good defense. The Bengals held the Giants to 7 points. Jacksonville's a disaster. Now, you're probably looking at Dallas and you're going, oh, that's bad defense. But in a couple of weeks, they're going to have multiple players back. Divisional game. Washington, I'm not sold. Rams in Baltimore, Rams defense is getting a lot better, and Baltimore doesn't have a good defense, but they do have some good players. They could turn things around. Carolina, bad defense. Pittsburgh, really good defense. At Washington, late in the year, unknown. Dallas and New York, late in the year. I mean, I'm not thinking this is super easy, to be honest with you. I'm not looking at this and going, oh, wow, this is an easy schedule. Let's take a look at the Houston Texans, because the one thing about the Houston Texans, I'm just letting you know, like Colts. I mean, Green Bay's could be tough. Okay, Colts, that's a bad defense. Thursday night, Halloween, New York Jets. Okay, that's tough defense. 10 days before you play Detroit at home, Sunday night football. I'm not sold on their defense. Same thing with Dallas. You never know. Tennessee has a good defense. Jacksonville's a bad defense. Miami is a bad defense. The end of the season, I mean, the final 3 games, Kansas City, Baltimore, Tennessee. But I really don't see one schedule really significantly better than the other, if I'm being honest with you. I don't agree with the statement that I want Hurts over Stroud because of the easier schedule. I really don't see it. If you want to go here's what you have to look at. The one thing about Houston is they're running the ball more. And as long as Mixon's there, they wanted nothing to do with Cam Akers, so I think they feel good about what they have. So I think that they're going to run the ball a little more. Hurts is playing in a new offense that they're throwing the ball more. Okay. Stroud's probably going to throw the ball less. Hurts is probably going to throw the ball more, plus you have A.J. Brown. Dotson, who was traded from the Commanders during preseason, was a former #1 pick. So, I mean, you also have weapons. If you went with Hurts over Stroud, I would not blame you. You have more weapons. You have a coach who wants to throw the ball more. I get all those things. I do think Stroud's better. I really do. I like the makeup. I Hey, I'll be honest, everything about Stroud I like better. I'm not saying Hurts isn't good. I'm not saying Hurts. A couple of years, so you're relatively new. 2 years ago, when after they beat the Chiefs, they were 10-1. That was last year. Yeah. I was saying he was NFL MVP, and then 2 years ago when he was leading the Eagles to the Super Bowl, I thought he was NFL MVP. By the way, the game he played against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl is one of the best quarterback performances of all time. In a loss, but still. And I've been a Jalen Hurts fan for a long time. If you want to go with Hurts over Stroud, I can make that argument. I really could. But I'm going to tell you, I Stroud's better. So, but yeah. Yeah. The Dolphins. Yeah. So what? So this goes. Yeah, the Dolphins have always been interested in Kyler Murray. But a trade now, I don't know how that would work. I mean, the way the contract's set up is that if you trade Murray, you have to eat a lot of money. You have a rookie or a second, it was either a rookie or second year player as the backup. You're sacrificing the whole season. And by the way, you did the same thing last year where you got rid of a bunch of players. You brought in a bunch of draft picks. It doesn't make any sense from Arizona. Do the Dolphins? Yeah, it would. But keep in mind now that contract you just gave Tua. You're like, I mean, what are you doing? Are you sending Tua out to the desert and then you're going to get Kyler Murray and both teams are eating each other's contracts? I mean, has it ever happened? It actually has. It actually happened. I forget the name of the quarterback that was sent. I'm drawing a complete. It was funny. He got sent to the Raiders and he got injured like almost instantly. But it was like Ken Stabler was traded to Houston, and the Houston quarterback. And I'm drawing a blank on his name. He was traded to the Raiders, and they were both going to start, for each other's teams. And unfortunately for the Snake, it was actually funny. He got bounced from the playoffs by the Raiders. Raiders went with their backup, Jim Plunkett, who led them to a Super Bowl. But God, was it Dan Calavini? I draw a blank, but it's been like that's the only thing that's like the first thing that pops in my mind. Team trading starting quarterbacks. There's probably been something more recent, but bear with me here. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. When I come back, we'll be back with Hour 3 of Afternoon Delight, so stay tuned. As Afternoon Delight is on a commercial break, we want to remind you that BetUS is a proud affiliate of Dan Talks Football. I made my first $100 deposit, and it was fast and easy, but check it out for yourself. The video's in the description below. Check out BetUS and start winning today. The award-winning NFL Week 7 Picks video is out. Make sure you watch it and drop a comment on how you think your team will do this week, or pick all 15 games. Your comments help. Check it out. The link is in the description below. Yes! Hour 3 of Afternoon Delight is here. 2 hours are in the books. Austin, I'm sorry. I almost missed this here. Dave says with Coop being out, I'm going to be starting Adams and Addison at wide receiver. Flex in the moment is Mooney, assuming Cup is out. Yeah, I'd bet money Coop's being out. Do I go Mooney or I go with Javonte Williams or Pickens instead of Mooney? That's a real tough one. I would go with Javonte Williams, and I'll tell you why. I really think that this is you're going to get more touches with Williams than either one of these guys. Now, I'm not sold on Seattle's secondary at all, but I have no idea what's going on with Atlanta's offense. I think it's kind of clicking, but they're kind of utilizing different personnel. Mooney could have a huge game. He could have nothing. Pickens, you don't know who's starting quarterback, and you're also going against a tough defense. I would go with Javonte Williams because despite the Saints giving up 51, they do have a good defense. All right. I really think that this is a matchup on a short week. You have a rookie quarterback. You're playing against a rookie quarterback. I really think that Williams is going to have like 20 or 25 touches. Is he going to have a big game? I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, I had to look that up. And by the way, like I don't see any possible way you're the Arizona Cardinals and you say, yeah, we're gonna trade and go with Clayton Tune. So so what I was seeing, and this is per ESPN, again, this is not the best source, that there was some that he was still doubtful. He's actually not on it per ESPN. ESPN has nothing on it. So so I looks like he's good to go. Looks like he's good to go. Cleared, okay, 6 minutes ago for ESPN, clears protocol, set to return. Full participant in practice. He's dealing with a groin injury. Shouldn't be an issue, but cleared by an independent neurologist later in the day. So, yeah, it looks like Neighbor's good to go. Anthony, what's up, brother? Should I start Bigsby or Chase Brown at flex PPR? That's a tough one, okay? Both teams are going against good defenses. I've been saying this for a while. I firmly believe that I would go with Zach Moss, but Cincinnati likes Brown better. Now, with Bigsby, the one thing is about Jacksonville is that I have no idea of ETN's situation. Let's take a look right now. ETN's questionable, limited in practice, been banged up throughout the year. Now, you're going against a very tough Patriots defense, all right? You kind of got to roll the dice here because here's the deal. If ETN is the main guy, you could be looking at 5 to 10 touches, but when he's played well. The one thing about Chase Brown is that he does have home run speed. Now, Bigsby, you're going to say, oh, well, Bigsby had that 60-yard. Yeah, I get that. But, I mean, I get that. But the one thing I do want to point out is that Brown has legitimate home run speed. It's a tough one. I'm leaning towards Brown, and the reason why is that they brought in Zach Moss. I thought Zach Moss was going to be the main dude. They like Brown better. In Jacksonville, for the time being, when healthy, ETN is clearly the number one guy. I would go with Brown, but I would not blame you if you went Bigsby, who's bigger and a little more powerful, where Brown's much smaller. Like you get around in the red zone, like or inside the 5. Moss is getting the touchdown, not Brown. Same thing with Bigsby. I would go with Brown, but that's a tough one. But I'm leaning towards Brown. Yeah, I know he did, but now you got Devontae Adams, so I since you have Devontae Adams, I have a feeling Conklin's going to drop down, but I'm not sure. Full PPR, need to start one. Chase Brown, Bigsby, or ooh. Okay. RCA, I would go with Mozart. I've been saying it's Devin Archain, questionable, may or may not play. Even if he does play, you're playing against a terrible, terrible Colts defense. Mozart's fresh. 21 touchdowns last year, and he's fresh against a bad defense. I would go with Mozart. I wouldn't even think about it. Good luck. Absolutely not. No. I think it's a buddy of mine. I think it's a buddy of mine messing with me. No, because I'm looking at this comment here, and it's kind of a joke. So, but listen, Pacheco's not going to play for about 2 months, so no. Thanks for the answer, Dan. I think I mixed up looking at the defense. Is there any quarterbacks you would take over Stroud? There's not many. There's really not many that I'm take over Stroud. I think Stroud's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott, but I would maybe take Prescott in fantasy. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I'll be honest with you, maybe after the bye, maybe Patrick Mahomes, but I mean, these are all iffies. I just think the absolute world of CJ Stroud. I love the kid. Watching him at Ohio State, watching the way he conducted himself at the combine, the interview process. He was my quarterback number one. I really thought that it was kind of a no-brainer. That I really, really thought it was a no-brainer that you would take him over Bryce Young. But anyway, there's not too many. I'm sitting here going, man, you have to take him. Keep in mind, it looks like the Texans are trying to rely a little more on the run, but yeah. There's nothing I'm pounding. To be honest, the best quarterback in fantasy football right now might be Lamar Jackson. If you told me, somebody, it may have been you that told me that you had Jaden Daniels and Stroud, and you're going with Daniels, and I wouldn't hate that either. But I'm not like pounding the table saying somebody's better than CJ Stroud. I'm really not. Would I take like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen? I mean, I'm a Chiefs fan, so I would take Patrick Mahomes, even though Mahomes' numbers have been bad. Yeah, but what you asked about Jalen Hurts, I don't hate that, by the way. I don't hate Hurts over Stroud. I really don't, especially with AJ Brown coming back. It's just I just think the world of Stroud. That's just my opinion, even though his fantasy value may be dropping a little bit. Randy, what's up, brother? 5-1. Would you trade Nico, Chuba, and Waddle for Kyren and Amon-Ra? Wow, that's a great. That's a great. Okay. So you have Nico Collins, Chuba, and Waddle, and you want to get Kyren Williams and Amon-Ra. Okay. So first off, I have Kyren rated slightly higher than Chuba Hubbard. I think is almost a must start. There's only a handful of running backs. Kyren Williams, one of them. Kyren Williams, by the way. You have your offensive lines coming back, some receivers are coming back, and all that is good for Kyren. With Chuba, they drafted Jonathan Brooks, who's returned to practice. He could dip into some touches down the line, but not this week. All right. Nico's going to be out for a while, and Waddle and everything in Miami's up. You have no idea what's going on. So I would make this move, and I'll tell you why. I talked about my top three. um, there's going to be a Lions fan that's mad because I said the top three receivers in fantasy are C.D. Lamb, uh, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase, and really I could throw Amon Ra. Amon Ra is one of the top five guys, maybe number four. Right now, Amon Ra is a must play because Collins is out for a couple weeks. Waddle, I love Jalen Waddle, by the way, but yeah, I would make this move, and you instantly. Kyron Williams has massive upside. I mean, and the thing is, though, he's just going to get better and better and better, and Amon Ra is going to get you 20 points every week. Yeah, I like this move. Let me know. Let me know if you pick up. Let me know if you pull the trigger. Dan, how you feel about Bub if Surtain is out over Jacoby? Welcome Houdini. I'm glad to see you in the chat, man. Bub's a massive unknown. I'll be honest, with or without Surtain doesn't mean anything. With Bub, you could be getting 3 catches, 20 yards. You could be getting 9 catches for 105 and 2 touchdowns. You have no clue. I think with Jacoby Myers, you're definitely getting some points. So this is a situation with Bub means you have no idea. You could get almost nothing. You could get a lot. I think with Jacoby Myers, you're getting a much higher floor, but you have a limited ceiling. I don't think he's going to have a 100-yard, 2 touchdown performance. I do think he's definitely going to get you like about 8 to 10 points, so like almost a lock. You got nobody else. I mean, you really got nobody else. I mean, yeah, Bowers is technically a tight end, but he's really a receiver. I think Myers almost a lock to get 5-6 catches and 40 to 60 yards. If you want to roll the dice, do it. If you need some stability, you need to pick up about, you need about 8 to 15 points this week. Go with Myers, and you may luck out and get a garbage time touchdown. I say that because I fully expect the Rams to win this game, but Jacoby Myers is a guy that could get you that fourth quarter touchdown that will help you out quite a bit. And that wouldn't surprise me either. It really wouldn't surprise me either. So depends on your situation, depends on the type of guy that you are. But I mean, I will tell you this: if it means blows up tonight, you're going to hate me when I told you take the surefire points. But I would do surefire points. You have Dak and you have Dak and CJ Stroud. Okay. Yeah, I mean, wow, that's a tough one, man. Because I honestly, I think I would, if I need to win a game, I'm taking CJ Stroud. If I want to win fantasy, I'm probably taking Dak. Okay. Nino, what's up, brother? My league has big play bonuses. Nice. And need to shoot for upside this week. Do I keep Kyler in versus Los Angeles Chargers with no Marvin Harrison Jr.? This is okay. Well, let me finish the rest of this because I cut myself off. This is how bad I am with energy drinks. I'm cutting myself off. Let me read the whole sentence, and then I'll get back to you with my answer about how you want to pick Stafford. My league has big play bonuses and need to shoot for upside this week. Do I keep Kyler in versus the Chargers with no Marvin Harrison Jr. or pivot to Stafford versus Las Vegas? Dalton versus Washington or Danny Dimes versus Philly? Okay. Um, I'm going to level with you. Yeah, if you have to go for upside, if you have to go for upside, there's you have Stafford and you have Dalton. Okay. Stafford's going against a better defense. No. I mean, I know a lot of people are telling me Washington's got this great defense. I'm not seeing it. Look what Lamar Jackson did. That's not a great defense. Okay. Stafford's getting some players back. So I don't think Cooper Kupp's going to play. Okay. I don't think Cooper Kupp's going to play. The offensive line is going to be good. I love Kyron Williams. I really, really love the guy. But I'm going to give you a crazy answer, and I'm going to go with Andy Dalton, and I'm going to tell you why. I really, really think that this is a good matchup for Dalton. Okay, you got some young, talented players. I really, really, you got some really young, talented players in Carolina. This is a game I really think Washington could easily overlook. You got up for Baltimore. It was a primetime game. You're battling, I mean, next week's game isn't super huge for Washington. I mean, every game in the NFL is big, but look, next week you're hosting Chicago. Okay, Caleb Williams, the Bears. All right. He just got done playing Baltimore. Carolina has one win. Like, this is the game you kind of overlook. I mean, I've seen this before where teams, you get off of a massive game. You got another big game that you're looking forward to next week, and you kind of overlook an opponent with offensive weapons galore. I do like Stafford against the Raiders. I'm not going to lie to you. I really like Stafford to the Raiders versus the Raiders. I really do. But I mean, you got some issues at receiver, and the Raiders do have a good defense. I'm not sold on Washington's defense. I don't care what anything says. I've been watching them. It's not that good of a defense. You got young, very talented players there in Carolina. Very talented players. I would go with Andy Dalton. You got it. By the way, I mean, Dalton has put up some numbers, man. I mean, I know they're 1-5. I know he's not great, but I mean, this is not terrible. By the way, Atlanta's significantly better, much better defense than Washington. 26 out of 38. That's a good number. 221, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. That's not terrible. I know he didn't do good against the Bears, but against the Bengals, didn't play bad. Against the Raiders, that one win, though, 319 and 3 touchdowns, that was solid. Listen, since Dalton's been the starter, 4 games, 7 touchdowns. What's the total number? 7 touchdowns, 896 yards. That's over 225. So, I mean, you're averaging 225 and 2 touchdowns, right? Out of these defenses, Raiders, Bengals, Bears, Falcons, which one's the worst? It's Washington. If your league has big play bonuses, I'm looking at the guy that's put up 900 yards passing and 7 touchdowns against 4 good defenses. Now I'm going against a bad defense. Yeah, go with Andy Dalton. If yeah. I know nothing about basketball. Yes. Now, I mean, listen, I need a little more information here. I mean, if you got like Justin Jefferson, CD Lamb, and Amon-Ra, no, but yeah, I think Devontae Adams is a guy you want to start. I really do. JJ McVeigh got offered a trade. I give up Jonathan Taylor and AJ Brown to receive CD Lamb and Kenneth Walker. I feel like it's close. Not sure what to do. I understand completely. CD Lamb and AJ Brown are basically a push. Kenneth Walker and Jonathan Taylor is also a push. Now, if both are healthy, I'm assuming you're in a PPR league. Taylor's, in my opinion, the better player. Doesn't have as much value in a PPR league. Another thing is that with Anthony Richardson as the starting quarterback, and until he's replaced, teams can focus in on Jonathan Taylor. You can't do that with Kenneth Walker. So I feel like you're getting an upgrade in Kenneth Walker. That's just my opinion. I really believe that you're getting an upgrade in Kenneth Walker. Even though Jonathan Taylor's like, I have a massive man crush on Jonathan Taylor. There are some injury issues that you have to worry about with Kenneth Walker. I think CD Lamb is slightly better than AJ Brown. In fantasy football, I like Dak Prescott more than I like Jalen Hurts. Keep in mind, the new offense that you're bringing in Philly is more. Remember, Kellen Moore came originally from Dallas, but he's new to Philly. So I would make this trade, and it is close. If you say, Dan, I want to keep Jonathan Taylor because when healthy, he's just going to go off, would not blame you. Hey, Dan, I'm going to hold on to AJ Brown because I'm assuming you drafted him. Now that he's healthy, he's fresher, and Dallas is the drama and everything, and also CD Lamb's on a bye. Or let's just say, hey, look, Dan, I don't want to bank on Kenneth Walker because he's so injury prone. I get it. If I was in your shoes, I would make the trade, even though I love Jonathan Taylor and I love AJ Brown. You're getting slight upgrades on both players. Is there risk? Yes, there is. There is risk. I would do it. JJ, let me know what you decide. If you don't pull the trigger on it, I don't blame you at all. And when Taylor's healthy, he's as good as he gets. If they go with Flacco, which they need to do, and Taylor comes back healthy, you could have a guy that runs, the final, 10 games of the season, he could have 1,000 yards just in those 10 games alone. Actually, I have no idea when the Colts have their bye. Oh, it's week 14. But, yeah, seriously, Jonathan Taylor, listen, when he's healthy, he's wildly productive. Same thing with Kenneth Walker. So he has some injury issues on both. I'm assuming you're in a PPR league. You have a little more value catching the ball with Kenneth Walker. So let me know what you decide. I'm not mad either way. I'd rather you not take my advice and win than take my advice and lose. So, yeah, it's tough. I would do it. That's my goal, man. That's my goal. I've dedicated myself to making sure other people win their fantasy football leagues is my biggest goal, to help people win. So, and that's what I want to do. If I was the Browns, I would get a hold of Dallas, see what they want for Dak Prescott. Because, by the way, Dak Prescott would fit in. It's sad to say, but Baker, I think, was a nice fit. but of course they didn't want him to get rid of him. But the problem is that the trade would not be a problem. I mean, now with the contract, I mean, you have to understand something. The contract that they gave Deshaun Watson is the reason. If the contract could be voided, altered, changed, I can almost guarantee you Watson wouldn't be the starter. Dak Prescott, when he came into the league and when he had his most success, is when they were leaning on the running game and he can use play action pass. Him going back and throwing the ball 50, 60 times a game, he'll be wildly productive doing it. I've never felt like that's when Dallas was at their best. Dak Prescott's winning was best when they relied on the running game. What they did this year was kind of interesting is they said, okay, I'm going to throw away my offense and I'll build an offense around what you want. Because remember, Alex Van Pelt was their offensive coordinator. They shipped him off to New England because that offense that they wanted to run was a run-heavy offense. Well, that's not really Deshaun Watson. So they bring in Deshaun Watson. They change the offense to fit him, and his play has just gone way down. It's such a damn shame. Keaton from Keaton Talk Sports, welcome, brother. He says Dallas doesn't. Yeah, I mean before the season maybe, but not now. The real question is what big time quarterback wants to be in Cleveland. Your best bet if I'm the Browns is in the draft. That's another issue. Is that Shadir Sanders? If you have him as quarterback number one. Deion's already came out publicly and said that he's going to be very involved in the process. There's a 0% chance that Shadir Sanders will end up in Cleveland. Now, Cam Ward, who might be the better prospect, I think would be a nice fit. And honestly, from what I've seen out of the two, if you're running the Stefanski offense, I think Cam Ward, even though he's been playing in wide open offenses, might be the better fit. To be honest with you, I have no idea what to expect of Cleveland. I can see them firing general manager, coach, benching Watson. I have no idea what's going to happen. It's just kind of a disaster right now. Sizu, what's up, my German brother? I like the Broncos quite a bit. So does Keaton from Keaton Talk Sports. By the way, Keaton from Keaton Talk Sports, me and him both do a weekly picks video. I have no idea. I didn't know this. He went 13-1 in his picks last week. That's amazing. That is amazing. I'm leaning towards the Broncos. I really am. I'll be honest with you, the Saints with all the injuries that just happened, and I do believe Rattler is going to play. It's a lot to ask. I'm really excited about the game because I want to look at two young quarterbacks because I think Rattler could be the future. Keep in mind, another thing I'm paying attention to is that if the Broncos win big, how hot does that Dennis Allen seat get? Because this is Sean Payton's first game back to the Saints as a head coach, and he didn't really leave on the best of terms. Remember, he like retired. He was still under contract for a couple of years. A lot of people thought that he just quit because Drew Brees retired. There was some it wasn't under the best of terms, and it wasn't like he retired and was gone for several years. I mean, he did TV for a year. He wasn't bad. I liked him on TV. He wasn't great. He wasn't great, but he wasn't bad. Like he had a future on TV, and he's like, no, I just want to do something else. And I remember of all the quarterbacks you could coach, like Russell Wilson, really? You had Drew Brees, you want Russell Wilson? Like I didn't see that, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. because if Denver wins big, I could see that Dennis Allen hot seat getting really, really hot. And the Saints may have to just blow everything up. So but do I think definitely I feel pretty confident, to tell you the truth. I feel pretty confident, but I mean, there's a lot of unknowns about this game. Sebastian, my running backs are Kyron, Dobbins, Robinson. My wide receivers are Jettas, London, and Dell. Should I trade Brock Purdy, Jonathan Brooks, and Pittman for Jalen Hurts and Christian Kirk? Full PPR 12-man league. That's an interesting trade. That's a real good one, because you have a chance in Jonathan Brooks to just hit a home run, and you could also get absolutely nothing. There, you have no clue. Pittman has almost no value as long as Anthony Richardson's the quarterback. Now Flacco becomes the quarterback. He's your number two. I would put him on. You have to debate between him and London. There's a lot of similarities between the two. They're built almost same. They're both USC guys. The issue that you would have is that here's what I'm saying is that Christian Kirk's value is just plummeting, because you have a bad team, number one. Number two, you have Evan Ingram coming back. Brian Thomas Jr. is quickly becoming the number one guy. Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts, I don't think you're really upgrading. I mean, that's a tough debate. That's something, if you're a Jalen Hurts guy and you're like, maybe your league, you get extra points for running. Maybe you love the tush push, but I mean, I would be leaning against this trade, and I'll tell you why. Your running backs right now are really, really good. Dobbins, as long as he stays healthy, he's running back number one. I think Kyron Williams, his value is just going up. Brian Robinson, somebody I like. Okay. If Brooks plays and he starts, there is no ceiling on Brooks at all. No ceiling. You're going to hate the fact that you got rid of him when he would just be a throw-in almost. If Joe Flacco takes over, Pittman's a guy that you have to consider starting over London. You never bench Justin Jefferson. Kirk's value, I think, is dropping, and I don't think Hurts is significantly better than Purdy. Let me know what you do. I'd recommend against it. I would really recommend against it, because you're in a situation. I mean, unless you need a roster spot, which I don't think you do, but you're in a situation where you can wait. Listen, a 12-man league. Worst case, I mean, if your playoffs start early, you're probably starting in a 12-man league somewhere between 10 and 12. There's a chance that Brooks is already returning to practice. Next couple of weeks, if Brooks becomes a starter and they bench Joe Flacco, you're giving up a lot for a player in Christian Kirk, who might be the fourth best receiver on this team. So no, I wouldn't recommend again. Let me know what you do, man. I mean, my goal is to help you win, and I'd rather you not take my advice and win than take my advice and lose. Woo! I have no kicker. That's never a good thing. My bench is Kareem Hunt, Mooney, Irvin, Braylon, Mossert, Laporta, 10-man full PPR. Who should I drop? I was about to drop. I asked about Bub because he could possibly make me not have to start a kicker. Okay, I gotcha. I mean, By the way, I mean, Laporta and Mozart are guys that could have massive games. But all right, who do you drop here? Um, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I like all these guys. You know, I mean, if you're going to drop anyone, I would say Braylon Allen. But I mean, I'm not. I'm if you're going to start Means and not have a kicker, I mean, I know you got the Dallas kicker if I remember right, and you want to keep him, so I get it, but I mean, out of these guys you got on your bench, I really don't want you to get rid of any of them. I mean, Kareem Hunt may be the number one running back in Kansas City. He had a good game last week. Mooney's up and down, but I mean, there's still potential. Bucky Irving, I know a lot of people are like, well, what about that? I forgot the kid's name, the Syracuse free agent, but he might be the number one guy. Braylon Allen's the only guy who's like definitely the number two, but you know, he's a powerful dude who's getting touches. Mozart, I've been pounding like this is a guy that could really have a great game against the Colts, and I can't believe you have Laporta on the bench. But I mean, if you're gonna drop anyone, drop Braylon Allen. But I wouldn't do it for Means, and I mean, unless you need to roll the dice. And if that's the case, start Mozart. I wouldn't. Yeah, no, that's not a big deal. No, I will say this: like Mozart against a bad Colts defense, you know, just saying, man. Um, I'm bad with names. Kuan Sarah, and I'm sorry if I got that wrong. I'm so sorry. Um, but I'm here to help. Hi, so I'm in a trade dilemma. Need advice. I'm being offered CD Lamb and Josh Jacobs for DK Metcalf and Kyron Williams. It's a full PPR 12-man league, and my main reservation is my other running backs are Armani and Chuba and need advice. Okay, that's a tough one, man. And wow, I didn't realize that I was behind on somebody. Okay. All right, listen, I'm going to answer every single question, but I got less than 20 minutes left, so I'm going to have to keep my rants to a minimum and some of my answers short. This is a tough one. I'm going to be honest with you. I like Lamb over Metcalf. Now Metcalf's been a little more consistent than normal, but I mean you got some questions in Seattle. I'm not sold on it. So CD Lamb I think is an upgrade. I like Kyron Williams more than I like Josh Jacobs. Full disclosure, I really do. So I think that you're giving up. You're giving up one and another. I think it's a fair trade, but I mean nobody's winning or losing. Chuba is a guy, massive upside, but like I just said, Jonathan Brooks comes back, he may be losing some touches. Montgomery should be the main guy in Detroit, but they like Gibbs more. I mean, I get it, but I mean the good news is with Montgomery is you're getting steady production. And that's kind of why I make this move, because with Montgomery and CD Lamb, you're going to get steady production. I would actually, Chuba would be better than Jacobs because I think Josh Jacobs' production is on the way down. Jacobs or Montgomery, which one you start, I don't know. Is there any possibility that you can keep Williams and give him Montgomery? And if he says no, I would still make the move, but I would try to keep Kyron Williams, who's just, I mean, out of those three running backs, Williams is the number one. I would try to offer Montgomery or Chuba first. If he says no, make the move and hope that you can get Josh Jacobs touchdowns. But I do like it. I think Kyron Williams' value is just going through the roof. That's why I don't. Can you offer a counter? Let me know what you do. Beans, Puka or Olave. That's really tough because Olave is not going to play this week. I'm going to say this. I'm leaning towards Olave because he's not playing this week, but with Shaheed out, he becomes the undisputed number one receiver. With Puka, even if he comes back, Koopa's going to be the number one guy. Now, you're going to throw the ball more in LA than you are in New Orleans, but I really kind of think Olave, but I have no idea what to expect from Koopa. Yeah, and yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same thing. After this week, Olave's the undisputed number one guy, and I think his production will go up. But I mean, you got some questions with the Saints. So Turtles, what's up? Start Tyrone Tracy or Nick Chubb. This is a tough one because I don't know Singletary's status. I would go with Tracy this week only, even though it's a tough Eagles matchup. You're going against the Bengals. I know you're at home. There's a good chance Chubb could explode. There is a very good chance Chubb could explode. I think Ford is questionable, who was the starter, but you really don't know what to expect from Chubb. Tracy, I think even if Singletary plays, Tracy's still going to get 10 to 15 touches, and if he's going to have a lot. Chubb's never been a huge receiving threat either. So if you're in a PPR league, you're going to get probably a little more value with Tracy. That would be my pick, but I'll be honest with you, if you want to, you have much more upside with Chubb. Much more upside with Chubb. That makes a lot of sense too. Yeah, I'm playing PPR. I'm wanting to do it. Since somebody else told me that. Yeah. Like I said, see if you can barter a little bit. But if you want to pull the trigger, let me know. JJ, stay in touch with me. Let me know how you do. I want you to win this week and going forward. So stay in touch with me, and hopefully I hear back from you Monday. Keep in mind, also CeeDee Lamb has a bye this week. HD quarterback CJ Stroud, Baker, nice running back or nice quarterbacks. Really, really, really nice quarterbacks. A-Chain, Brown, Connor, you need some help. Eckler, wide receivers, Amon-Ra, nice. Drake London, also Nico. God, wow. 2 tight ends I like. I have an offer where I would trade Amon-Ra and Ferg for Debo, Reed, and Hurts. I don't want you to do that, and I'll tell you why. I really don't like Hurts significantly more than your other quarterbacks. Reed and Debo are interesting, don't get me wrong, but as much as I love Pitts, Ferguson's your starter. I mean, I wouldn't do this at all. I mean, I really wouldn't do this. I get why you would want to, because London's been productive. Collins, when he's healthy, is wildly productive, but I wouldn't do this. I mean, I would really, really, really not. Okay, so you have another part. Then I would trade Hurts and Debo for Mixon, or Debo plus Hurts for Pollard and Devontae Smith. I don't like any of this. I mean, and I'll tell you why. All right. I don't like your running back room, and I like your receiving room. So I understand why you want to do this, because Pollard makes a lot of sense. Adding Devontae Smith doesn't. I get where you're going, because you want to trade Hurts and Deeb. Okay. So you're trying to get some receivers that you don't use, and then you would try to get Pollard. I like the idea of Pollard or Mixon. I like that idea, but apparently you need Hurts in order to do that. Okay. I like the idea, but here's the deal: you get rid of Amon-Ra, you get rid of steady points, right? London and Mooney are kind of up and down. Addison's solid, but he's a 2. With Nico Collins, when he comes back, you're not sure, but I do like the Stroud and Nico. Um, you have to improve your running back room. So the guys that are offering running backs need a quarterback, right? I mean, if you're going to do one of these trades, do the Debo and Hurts for Pollard and Smith. But I'm looking at here's what I'm looking at with Stroud and Baker and Amon-Ra. You got consistent points every week. Is there any way you can make a move with like Pitts and Mooney? Maybe A-Chain for a running back or something like that. I'd like for you to do something different, but I get your logic. I just look, Amon-Ra steady. Look, listen, you're in a dome stadium. You have a good quarterback. You have a good offensive line. You're going to get consistent production. I'll be honest with you. I like Baker and Stroud. We got to improve. And I like both your tight ends. Why Pitts isn't getting more production, I have no idea. It's one of the biggest mysteries in the National Football League. But I don't want you to give up Amon-Ra. Is there any chance you can give up Drake? Anybody except Amon-Ra. Do me a favor. I want you to stay in touch with me and let me know what other options you have. If you do have to do something, I get it, but I just don't want you to give up Amon-Ra. The majority of folks I've talked to, I asked to agree. Not sure what I do by the time Puka is back. Carr should be 2, and there's the added benefit of Shaheed not taking. Yeah, I think out of the 2, I think keep in mind you're talking to I have a major man crush on Chris Olave. I mean, in the Dakota story, it's great. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, let's say he comes back. I mean, he is 100%. You got Kupp there. Olave's by himself. I'll be honest. I don't know if Carr comes back if it's that nice of an issue. I think there's a good chance Rattler plays really well, but yeah. I'm on for Ferg, for deep. No, yeah, okay. I was thinking of offering a 1-for-1 that I can maybe get a little something more if people are that high on Puka. Yeah, I apologize, Beans, because this, as far as a trade, I didn't see anything that you're offering. But if you, by the way, I like your thought process of selling on Puka. I 100% think you're making a good move because you have a popular name, the story people like, but he's not offering you anything. Yeah, move on from him and see what you can get. I mean, I don't want you to take somebody that you're not going to use, but I would 100% keep Olave, even though he's not going to play. Move forward. So, Mad Max. Would you send Chase Brown and Tyrone Tracy for Diggs or Cooper? 1/2 PPR, 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, 2 flex. Running backs, Kyron, Corum. Corum's interesting. I like the fact that, by the way, smart move picking up Garando. You can drop CMC. Chubb and Mason are solid too. I think Garando could take some touches away from Mason. Wide receivers, Higgins, Waddle, Downs, Brian Thomas Jr., and Bub Flex. Okay, interesting. This is a fun league. God, a lot of flexibility here. Send Chase Brown and Tron Tracy for Diggs and or Cooper. Okay, so you got to send 2 running backs. For Diggs or Cooper. And the tough one is you got with Higgins and Waddle, you got some unknown there. Yeah, you have Downs. You just picked up Bub Means. Brian Thomas Jr., you have some upside. So I get what you're trying to do. With Corum, God, you just got. Did you get everybody? Oh, God, you got everybody from the 49ers. Is Corum, I'm drawing a blank here. If Corum's on the Rams or the Niners, and he's on the Rams. 2 running back, 2 flex option. God. So you have a possibility with Chubb to have a home run, and I like Corn Robinson quite a bit. The issue, and I get what you're wanting, you need some stability in the receiver room. You have to roll the dice of which one, Diggs or Cooper. That's up to you. I can make a strong case for either one. The way, I mean, the way it's just I'm looking at you're looking at your running back room, and I mean, you got a couple guys that are doing absolutely nothing, and you got 2 running backs that you're going to get points on. And I mean, I'm looking at 2 running back, 2 flex, and so I'm thinking that you need to get as many running backs as you can, especially 3 down running backs like Tracy and Brown. Because the way your lineup is, Corum, Garando, CMC, and I mean, you got some guys that are doing absolutely nothing. I mean, I would just drop CMC at this point. I mean, are your playoffs starting week 16 or something? I'm guessing you're a 49ers fan because you got all the NFC West running backs. I mean, that would kind of make sense. I 100% am on board with your logic of trying to get Diggs or Cooper, and you have some value with Brown and Tracy. I wouldn't do it because, I mean, don't get me wrong, in the league that you have, Diggs and or Cooper could start. And get you. I mean, a 3 wide receiver league, and these are your receiving options. You're in trouble. I don't like the idea of you getting rid of what I'm looking at are 2 starters in the flex for getting one. Looks like you're giving up 2 starters for one. I'd really like to see you do something different. Since you got Mason, Garando, and CMC and Corum, I mean, I really rather see move one of those guys because you're banking on Chubb coming back. I mean, I don't even know who you're starting this week. I'm assuming, Kyron's the only lock. I don't know. Are you starting Mason and then Brown and Tracy are your flex, or are you going with Chubb? And I want to see you make a move for a receiver. I don't want to see you give up the 2 guys that I don't. What I'm looking at is 2 starters for one. That's what I'm looking at. and you need some help at the receiver position. I'm just saying, you. Why are you keeping Corum, Mason Granda, and CMC? Like you, one or two or three of those guys need to go, and I would bring back either Brown or Tracy. Try to substitute one of those guys. But I like your thought process. I just want to make some different decisions. Let me know what you do, man. Let me know what you do. I do got to wrap up, but stay in touch with me and let me know what you do. I could see it. I really could. It makes a lot of sense. I really like what I've seen of him so far. I really like it. So after all these trades, I could get my roster to quarterback: Stroud, Baker, A-Chain, Connor, Pollard. Nice. Drake, Reed, Devontae Smith, Mooney. Tight end Pitts. I just don't want you to. I really just don't. Here's the problem with Drake, and as much as I love Drake's upside, you're getting rid of steady points. You're just getting rid of guaranteed points that you're not going to recup. I really don't like either one of these better. So I have a trade offer. I get Jonathan Taylor and DK for Baker, Ferguson, and Connors. Okay. So you have Lamar Jackson. That's why I'm like racking my brain here. So you're getting rid of a starting tight end. God, you're getting rid of Connors. I like that because I do think that Trey Benson's going to start getting in those touches, and if Jonathan Taylor comes back healthy, you could hit a home run. DK Metcalf, normally the production is up and down, but he's been kind of steady and doing solid. Also, I like the fact that Seattle's defense is really kind of falling apart. So what do you want to do? You want to throw the ball. I have another offer: Baker and Monty for Evans, Brian. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Yeah, I do too. I really think I don't know why he's not being used more in Gibbs, but I want to answer all the questions, and I do have to wrap up. God, I don't. I mean, here's the drill. Because you have Lamar Jackson, you don't need Baker Mayfield. I get that. I also get by making this move, you're probably giving up a starting tight end. You maybe have somebody else. Connors, I like the fact that you're selling. DK solid. I don't know how the rest of your team is, and Jonathan Taylor, like he's probably not going to play this week, but when he comes back, you could have a number one. I really still, even though I can understand and I can justify the trade, I just feel like you're giving up so much because Baker Mayfield's a really solid quarterback who's putting up some really good numbers, and you're giving away the thing is with Connors is I believe his value is going to go down. Jonathan Taylor definitely is injured. So I just think you're giving up way too much, man. That's why I don't like it, but I could justify it. Let me know what you do, man. Unfortunately, you'd have to do it tomorrow. But yeah, I get it. But I'll be honest, man. I mean, I like Montgomery, and if you do too, you may be getting Eckler. I don't know what you're getting. Brian Robinson, Eckler value. But and Evans is solid, but I mean, you're just giving. I mean, man, I just think you're giving up way. You can get more for Baker Mayfield, even though you're not using him. Just listen. Just because you're not using him doesn't mean he doesn't have value. These people offering you trades, they're going to start Baker Mayfield and he's going to be wildly productive. I want you to get more. That's what I want. Let me know what you do, Tony. Please stay in touch. I do got to wrap up the show, so I have to be a little short, but stay in touch with me. Let me know what you do, man. It's funny because the defense is so good. It's just such it right now. I was for the first couple of weeks of the season, I was like, look, get the tackles healthy, get Nick Chubb back. Now I'm like I got to see more. Like he just seems kind of there's just kind of a disconnect. If I'm the Browns and I'm picking high, and one of these quarterbacks is like I'm trading back because this defense, this class has a ton of pass rushers, and you don't need one. There's a chance that you could trade back maybe twice, get some players on offense, plus a lot of draft picks. And the reason why you want to get draft capital is in a couple of years from now, unfortunately, you do have to wait. You may want to just trade back and get picks for 2025, 2026, or you can just stockpile more on this defense, and you can also add to the offensive line. There's a lot of things you could do. I'm kind of with you because I'm going to tell you this: there's a 0% chance Shakir Sanders will go to Cleveland. You could sit here and bring him in. You could try to convince Dion, and you want to do that publicly because you want a team like, I don't know, New York Giants, Raiders to make the big trade. But yeah, I'm with you. Mr. Exenzi 368. 12-team non-PPR. I have Aaron Jones owner. He's only one playable running back this week. Do you trade Dobbs for Ty Chandler? Ooh. I want to argue no, but in your situation, you only got one running back. I mean, you could do a lot worse than Ty Chandler. And if you do have an Aaron Jones owner, you don't really know what to get. I'll be honest, Romeo Dobbs there's a few questions. I'll be honest with you, in a non-PPR league, Aaron Jones doesn't have as much value. You only have one playable running back. Is that including Aaron Jones? Is that Aaron Jones himself, or I kind of like this move. Standard for my league as well. Okay. Standard league, which is non-PPR, Jonathan Taylor has a little more value. So actually Connor has more value because they really just don't use. They don't use either one in the league. But I still want Tony. I still want you to do more. Goddard for Pacheco and Devontae for Bucky. That's a tough one, man. I mean, I like Deontay, but I don't think Pacheco is going to play for a couple months. I might make this move. Should I trade Kenneth Walker away for AJ Brown? Yes. Yeah, you're getting similar value with Walker and Hubbard. Listen, I have to wrap up, so I'm going to rapid fire through some of these here. I needed to end this show about 10 minutes ago. Stay in touch with me. Let me know what you do, but absolutely make this move. AJ Brown's a number one. You're starting him, and there's not too much of a value difference between Hubbard and Walker. Make this move. Let me know what you do, but make this move. My starting tight end is McBride. My running backs right now are Cook, Gibbs, Brian Robinson at flex, and Mozart fit with. Okay, so I think that Archain, let's say he plays, I think Mozart's going to get more carries than Achane. That's why. That's why I would find a way to put Mozart in. With your running backs, Cooks. Wait a minute, you're asking about this one. because you already got some good running backs. I think Mozart fits in here. I'll be honest with you, which one you would have put him in, because Cook's not going to play this week, so Mozart would go in, because I don't think Cook's playing. Oh, no, don't make this trade. No, I'm sorry. He has Gibbs. I'm sorry, I missed it here. Here, I missed what trade you had. I apologize. I can't find what you have. It's teams are a little insane in a 12-man of Josh. Nice. DK other bench races would be inserted like Mooney. What was the you got money in your lineup? I apologize, because I remember you had to trade. I just couldn't find it, and I have to end the show. Okay, here we go. Alfred CeeDee Lamb and Josh Jacobs. God, you got a really good team. Yeah, you can man, I apologize. I needed to end the show about 10 minutes ago. I would love to dive into this a little more. Bottom line, substitute Williams out. Try to put something else in there besides Williams. But I love this. You should be winning a championship. Keep Williams, figure something else out. Do me a favor, stay in touch with me. You can't hit me up tomorrow because I got to end the show. But stay in touch with me. Let me know. Ron St. Brown for Debo and Reed alone. No. I get it. You would be adding to your talent. If Reed keeps producing like he's doing and Debo stays healthy, yes, I'm not banking on either one of those. Amon-Ra's getting you steady performance, and if I remember correctly, your running back situation needs some help. I apologize, HD, because I have to end the show. Stay in touch, because I recognize you. Hit me up tomorrow, but don't trade Amon-Ra St. Brown with the moves that you talked about, even though you need some help. Daniels. Okay. Oh, you got Pacheco. Aaron Jones may not play. Brian Robinson, Stevenson, Dowdle. Okay, and Dowdle's on a bye. Even if you play Stevenson, he may not get a lot of carries, and he's questionable. God, yeah, I get it. Okay, so your trade. Oh yeah, make that trade, and then after you make that trade, yeah, I would just start reading great. You can start Reed and AOC, and yeah. And unfortunately, you have to figure out. I would use one of your receivers in the flex. I'm sorry, I have to end the show, so I gotta kind of rapid fire through these. I could see something. It's just Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's tough, but yeah. No, he's coming back like in January. You don't go to Germany to see a specialist if you're fine. He's not coming back. If he does come back, it's going to be like late December, January. Most fantasy football seasons will be over by the time he comes back. So I trade Jacoby and Cook for Tyreek. That's interesting. Cook has a lot of value when he comes back healthy, but you could roll the dice here. Man, I apologize, Houdini. I got a kind of rapid fire these. I would take a Duze over Worthy, but that's personal preference, even though I'm a Chiefs fan. I would, getting Tyreek Hill. By the way, you never know. You may win, because here's the problem with Cook. You just have to value his injury. But yeah, this could be a home run. Trade Jacoby and Cook for Tyreek and Odunze. Yeah. If Cleveland were to get a quarterback in free agency, I would prefer a big quarterback that could take hits in the cold and top being physical. Seriously, they already have one in Jameis Winston. I think if it wasn't the contract, I think Winston would be playing, and I think he could do everything Stefanski wants him to do. And it may just be a matter of time. By the way, I would remember he was the number 1 pick in the draft. I got to end the show, so I can't rant on that. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, brother. Yes, he's a top 10 running back in fantasy, no question. Is he now healthy? Okay. I didn't have a chance. Come back tomorrow, because I want to rant. Yeah, hey man, I appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm on Monday through Friday, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific time. It's a 3-hour show. I'm going way late today, but please come back. Let me know what I can do to help you win your fantasy football competition. GB, yeah. Okay, guys, I apologize. I'm 15 minutes behind. I got to end the show. Come back tomorrow. I'm not calling it Fantasy Football Friday, but all fantasy football questions will be answered tomorrow. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.